Most of us have felt it at some point, the sense that there's more moving inside us than muscles, bones, and breath. A subtle current that seems to rise when we're inspired, constrict when we're afraid, or flood through us when we fall in love. We might call it energy, life force, or simply a felt sense of being alive. Whatever the name, it is real, and it shapes how we move through the world. This book is not meant to hand you a dogma or convince you of something mystical. Instead, it's an invitation, a field guide to your inner rivers, the currents that pulse beneath thought and body alike. Imagine walking with a friend who points out landmarks in a forest. Here, the root system that grounds you. There, the streams of breath and emotion that fuel creativity. Further ahead, the soaring branches that open towards spirit. We'll explore ancient maps, nadis, chakras, vyas, but always through the lens of lived experience. We'll trace how energy knots itself into tension, how it unravels with awareness, and how each layer of the body speaks in subtle but unmistakable ways. Think of this as a companion for exploration. The rivers are already flowing inside you. All we are doing here is learning to listen, to notice, and to navigate with greater clarity. So, let's begin where all rivers start, with the foundations, the quiet channels and pathways that hold the secret to how your energy body moves, knots, and frees itself. Chapter 1. Foundations of the Energy Body, Anatomy and Principles. Understanding the nadis, Ida, Pingala, and Sushumna pathways. The nadis are essential pathways that channel life force energy throughout the body. Among these, Ida, Pingala, and Sushumna stand out as the three primary nadis, each carrying unique qualities and functions. Ida runs along the left side of the body, associated with the lunar energy, calming and cool. It governs the emotional and intuitive aspects of our being. Pingala, on the right side, corresponds to the sun, representing action and logic. It influences our willpower and ability to take initiative. Sushumna, the central nadi, runs along the spine and has a more spiritual nature. It connects the lower chakras to the higher, allowing for a balanced flow of energy and consciousness. Understanding these pathways is key to enhancing our overall well-being. Ida and Pingala represent duality, much like the balance of yin and yang. When both nadis are balanced, energy flows freely in Sushumna, facilitating spiritual growth and transformation. When one side dominates, it can lead to physical and emotional imbalances. Hence, recognizing the state of these nadis is crucial in any spiritual practice. It's not about dogma or strict rules. It's about tuning into what feels right within ourselves. This felt sense awareness helps guide us along our spiritual path, leading to a harmonious integration of mind, body, and spirit. The nadis are interconnected with our chakras, the energy centers that align along the spine. Each chakra corresponds to different aspects of our lives, such as survival, creativity, compassion, and intuition. Sushumna serves as the main channel through which energy rises and falls, playing a crucial role during meditative practices, where the aim is to quiet the mind and connect with deeper realms of consciousness. Each chakra has its own unique felt sense signature, expressing how energy flows or gets blocked. For instance, when the root chakra is healthy, one feels grounded and stable. However, blockages in any chakra can lead to physical issues or emotional disturbances. The interplay of the nadis with these energy centers allows us to notice where we might feel tension or imbalance. Being aware of these sensations can guide us toward which practices we might explore, whether it be breathwork, movement, or meditation. Recognizing patterns in how energy flows or feels stuck can be just as important as understanding the theoretical framework of nadis and chakras. By focusing on bodily sensations, we cultivate a more personal relationship with our energy body. This experimental approach encourages us to develop our inner guidance without adhering strictly to external doctrines. It is within this balance of knowledge and personal insight that we discover effective tools for alignment and growth, consciously reclaiming our connection to the life force that flows within us. The three Granthis, Brahma, Vishnu, Rudra knot dynamics. Within the subtle body system, our energy flows along channels called nadis, primarily Ida, Pingala, and Sushumna. This flow of prana moves upward through these channels, carrying vital life force that supports our physical health, mental clarity, and spiritual awakening. Along this journey, three significant energetic knots, known as the Granthis, act as critical junctions. These are called the Brahma Granthi, Vishnu Granthi, and Rudra Granthi, each named after powerful deities representing creation, preservation, and transformation respectively. These knots are not physical obstructions but energetic blockages or tensions that can either restrict or misdirect the flow of energy as it ascends through the chakras. The Brahma Granthi is usually associated with the root and sacral chakras, where our connection to the ground, survival instincts, and creative energy reside. It represents the knot of material attachment, rooted in our identification with the physical world and the ego's need for security. The Vishnu Granthi lies around the area of the solar plexus and heart chakras, relating to emotions, relationships, and the balance between personal and universal love. This knot can restrict openness and compassionate connection when it becomes stuck. Finally, the Rudra Granthi is found near the throat and third eye chakras. It governs the transformation of self through higher consciousness and the release of old patterns, often linked to fear, resistance, or spiritual bypassing that halts deeper awakening. Together, these granthis shape how smoothly or tightly the life force flows, impacting our overall spiritual progress. The granthis can present as either blockages that tighten the flow of energy or as weaknesses where the flow becomes too loose, causing instability. When the Brahma Granthi is tightly knotted, it often manifests as feelings of fear, insecurity, or an over-attachment to material things. This can limit one's ability to move beyond survival mode into more expansive states of being. On the other hand, if this knot becomes too loose, it might lead to a lack of grounding or reckless behavior born from disconnection with the physical world. Becoming aware of this balance requires tuning into bodily sensations around the root and sacral areas, noticing any tension or numbness that reflects the state of the knot's flow. The Vishnu Granthi tends to block when emotional wounds, jealousy, or control issues arise, creating resistance in the heart center. This knot, when tight, may cause one to feel stuck in old relationship patterns or unable to open fully to love and kindness. Conversely, if the knot is too loose, it can lead to being overly impressionable, lacking healthy boundaries, or emotional instability. Awareness here grows from observing emotional responses and breath quality around the diaphragm and chest. Softening the breath and nurturing empathy without losing oneself can provide clues about this Granthi's condition. The Rudra Granthi governs transformation and spiritual clarity, so blockages here often show up as fear of change, spiritual stagnation, or avoidance of inner truth. This knot can tighten when the mind clings to fixed beliefs or when anxiety about the unknown limits openness to higher wisdom. If too loose, it might result in scattered energy, confusion, or difficulty maintaining focus during meditation and spiritual practices. Awareness arises by sensing tensions or discomfort near the throat and forehead, bringing gentle attention to thoughts and subtle energies without forcing control. Recognizing these knots as energetic junctions rather than fixed barriers opens a path for practical work. Techniques like gentle breath work, mindful body scans, and focused meditation on each Granthi can help release stuck energy or stabilize an overly loose flow. Paying close attention to sensations in the body and emotional shifts allows for direct, personal insight. This hands-on approach connects spiritual concepts to real-time experience, encouraging a felt sense of where knots tighten or ease in your own energetic system. One helpful practice is to visualize gently untangling each Granthi as you breathe and scan these areas. Imagining the breath flowing freely through these knots invites softness and movement. Another tactic is to observe daily reactions, whether you find yourself resisting change, clinging to comfort, or shutting down emotionally, and link these experiences back to the corresponding Granthi. Through steady awareness and patient exploration, the energetic rope that guides your spiritual journey can become less tangled and more supportive. The 5 Vyas, functions and balancing techniques. The 5 Vyas are subtle energies that move within the body, guiding the flow of life force and influencing our physical, mental, and emotional states. Each Vayu has a specific direction, place, and purpose, acting like little currents that keep our energy system balanced when they move freely. When these energies flow smoothly, we feel more centered, alert, and calm. When they become blocked or overwhelmed, imbalance can lead to fatigue, confusion, or emotional upheaval. Recognizing how these Vyas function helps us work with our energy in a practical way, tuning into what we're feeling inside and making simple adjustments to bring harmony. The first of these, the Apana Vayu, is responsible for downward energy movement, such as elimination, grounding, and stability. It resides at the base of the spine and governs processes like digestion and elimination, helping us feel rooted in the body. Next is the Samana Vayu, which gently circulates energy around the core. It manages digestion, assimilation, and mental clarity. The Prana Vayu, often considered the breath of life, moves upward through the chest and head, connecting us to the environment, thoughts, and vital energy. Uda Vayu carries energy upward toward the crown, supporting speech, higher thinking, and spiritual aspiration. Finally, the Vyana Vayu spreads throughout the entire body, distributing energy to all limbs and organs, keeping the entire system alive and responsive. Balancing these energies involves tuning into subtle sensations and noticing shifts in the body. For Apana, feeling your connection to the ground and practicing simple grounding techniques like focusing on sensations of contact with the feet or the seat can help. For Samana, deepening awareness of the belly and practicing gentle abdominal breathing can restore its flow when it feels sluggish. To balance prana, becoming aware of the breath and lengthening it naturally encourages vitality. Uda can be supported by chanting, uplifting thoughts, or gentle neck and throat stretches, helping energy ascend smoothly. For Vyana, maintaining awareness of limb movements and micro-adjustments in posture helps to improve overall circulation and responsiveness. These gentle shifts and felt senses guide us in working with our energy without needing complicated rituals. Practical framework: felt sense versus dogma in energy work. Energy work often focuses on the feeling sensations in our bodies, known as felt senses. These sensations are personal experiences that can guide us through spiritual practices and healing. Rather than relying solely on established teachings or dogma, we are encouraged to tune into our own internal signals. When we learn to prioritize our direct experiences, we begin to cultivate a deeper connection with our energy and intuition. This allows us to navigate our spiritual journey with a sense of authenticity and empowerment, as we validate our own perceptions and insights. Understanding felt senses requires practice and a willingness to observe our physical and emotional responses. For instance, when focusing on a specific energy center, like the heart chakra, one might feel warmth, openness, or even tightness in the chest. These sensations provide valuable information about our emotional state and personal growth. Choosing to trust these experiences rather than adhering strictly to external theories allows for a richer and more relevant exploration of energy work. This alignment creates an environment where healing can flourish through self-discovery and personal intuition. To cultivate awareness of our felt sense signatures, we can begin by creating stillness within our busy lives. This stillness can be achieved through mindfulness practices such as meditation or simply taking moments of pause throughout the day. As we practice stillness, we can start to notice how different emotions and thoughts manifest in our bodies. For example, anxiety might present as a fluttering sensation in the stomach, while joy may feel like a lightness in the chest. By labeling these sensations and observing them without judgment, we can begin to understand what is truly resonating with our intuition versus what we've absorbed from external sources. Distinguishing between intuitive experiences and conditioned beliefs is an essential aspect of energy work. Often, societal conditioning or past experiences can lead us to misinterpret our felt senses. For instance, a tightness in the throat may be a signal to express oneself, but due to past experiences, one might interpret this sensation as anxiety. By journaling or engaging in reflective practices, we can unpack these feelings and clarify their origins. This helps in recognizing patterns and differentiating our true feelings from learned responses. Building this awareness strengthens our intuition, ensuring that we can confidently navigate our energy work journey. Integrating these practices into daily life can foster profound growth and insight. Regularly checking in with ourselves and acknowledging our felt senses can lead to unexpected revelations about our emotional and spiritual health. Remember to be gentle with yourself on this journey, as developing this awareness is a process that takes time and patience. A useful practice is to simply sit quietly for 5 minutes each day, close your eyes, and focus on the sensations in your body without analysis, just observation. This simple act can significantly enhance your connection to your inner guidance. Chapter 2. The Root Terrain, Grounding and Stability. Felt sense signatures of root blockages and excesses. When the root chakra is blocked or out of balance, the body often responds with a deep sense of instability. This can feel like heaviness pressing down in the lower body, as if gravity pulls more strongly on your legs or pelvis. Sometimes, instead of heaviness, there's a numb or disconnected sensation, as if the ground beneath you has faded away. These sensations reflect how your grounding energy is either stuck or scattered, too much tension or not enough presence in your base. This felt sense signature makes it clear when the root center is either overactive or underactive, both of which affect how safe and secure you feel in your body and the world around you. On a physical level, the differences between too much and too little root energy show up in posture and muscle tone. When the root is overamped, you might notice your body is rigid or tense, with a tightness that can feel like bracing against something unseen. This could show in a slumped posture that indicates you are carrying stress or a guarded stance that resists movement. On the flip side, when the root is underenergized, the body tends to feel loose and floppy. This collapse can give a sense of sinking or going limp, as if the foundation no longer supports you. Both extremes speak to a disruption in grounding and stability, where the body struggles to find balance between holding on and letting go. Understanding these physical warnings can help you meet your root chakra state in a gentle, practical way. For instance, if you notice heaviness or numbness, it may invite you to bring awareness down with practices that connect the lower body to the earth through movement or breath. If tightness or collapse shows up, then softening and strengthening exercises that encourage a steady, grounded presence could be helpful. The key is tuning in to what your body actually feels instead of what your mind assumes. This felt sense offers the clearest map to working with blockages or excesses in your root energy. Common origins of root imbalances and how to recognize them. Many root imbalances originate from early life experiences that shaped how we feel grounded and secure. When childhood environments were unstable, unpredictable, or lacked clear boundaries, it often leaves a lasting imprint, making it harder to maintain a sense of stability later. Stressful events or trauma during formative years can also weaken the grounding energy, leading to feelings of disconnection from the body and earth. Environmental factors like poor nutrition, toxicity, or living in chaotic surroundings can further weaken this foundation, creating weak links that show up as physical or emotional instability over time. Recognizing these origins helps us understand why some feel perpetually unsteady or anxious, even when outside circumstances improve. Identifying signs of imbalance begins with noticing how sensation patterns and posture reflect underlying disconnection from the ground. People often experience a sense of heaviness or floating, as if their energy is caught between trying to stay anchored and slipping away. Posture might be slumped, tense, or uneven, with shoulders pulled up or tilting to one side. Breathing may feel shallow or irregular, hinting at a subconscious nervousness or avoidance of feeling rooted. Feelings like fear, shame, or insecurity can also serve as emotional indicators. These core moods often signal that the energetic center connected to the root is unsettled. Observing patterns in how you hold your body, breathe, and feel can reveal where work is needed to restore stability. Understanding where imbalance originates makes it easier to recognize specific signs that point to deeper issues. For example, difficulty staying present or feeling persistent worry might stem from early childhood scarcity or neglect. A tendency to over-control or cling to routines could indicate fear of losing stability. Physical tells include trembling limbs, tightness in the hips or lower back, or a sense of being off balance even when standing still. On a mental level, negative self-talk may reinforce feelings of insecurity or unworthiness, directly impacting the body's ability to feel safe and connected. Paying attention to these subtle signals provides clues to what needs healing at a foundational level. Addressing root imbalances often starts with gentle awareness practices, like grounding meditations or mindful movement that reconnects you with the present moment and the earth beneath you. Simple practices such as feeling your feet on the floor or visualizing roots extending into the ground can help reinforce a sense of stability. Recognizing patterns in your body and emotions is key. If you notice recurring tension or feelings of flight or freeze, this points to past experiences still influencing your current state. Creating space to observe these sensations without judgment allows stored tension and old wounds to surface, making it possible to release them gradually. Over time, consistent awareness and gentle action can restore a sense of rootedness that feels authentic and lasting. One practical tip is to incorporate micromovements into daily routines, like light stretching or motion that encourages a feeling of foundation, especially in areas like the hips and lower back. Breathing deeply into these regions helps activate the relaxation response and re-establish healthy energy flow. Keep in mind that healing the root center is often not about fixing a problem overnight, but gently rebuilding trust in your body's stability. Being patient with this process allows old patterns to loosen naturally, making space for genuine grounding to take hold. Small, consistent actions rooted in awareness can make a surprising difference in how secure and centered you feel over time. Somatic tells, posture, breath, and micro-behaviors indicating root disruption. Posture and physical alignment often reveal underlying root energy disruptions. When someone has slumped shoulders or a collapsed chest, it can indicate a sense of instability or disconnection from the earth. This disconnection might manifest as uneven weight distribution while standing, which can feel like a metaphorical imbalance in life. If you notice yourself leaning to one side or feeling heavy in your lower body, these physical signs can tell you something about your emotional state and how grounded you are in your daily existence. In essence, your body reflects your internal experiences and feelings. Breathing patterns are another powerful somatic tell that can indicate root chakra imbalances. Shallow or rapid breaths can signal anxiety or a feeling of being overwhelmed, while irregular inhalations and exhalations might reflect disconnection from your core self. Just as posture speaks volumes, breath conveys emotions even when words fail. When the breath becomes erratic, it can often be accompanied by micro-behaviors like fidgeting or avoiding eye contact, suggesting a desire to disengage from the present moment. Such micro-behaviors are subtle but meaningful clues about how safe or secure we feel in our environment. These small, often unconscious actions reveal much about our mental and emotional states. For example, if you find yourself tapping your foot continuously or biting your nails, these habits may hint at unresolved fears or anxieties. Avoiding eye contact can reflect a deep-seated feeling of unworthiness or insecurity. By tuning into these micro-behaviors, you can begin to understand what your body is communicating about your root chakra health. Growing awareness around these patterns can cultivate a sense of empowerment, allowing you to address the root issues that may cause such disruptions. Paying attention to these signs can guide you on your journey toward feeling more grounded and secure. To help you become attuned to these aspects, practice simple deep breathing exercises. Take a few minutes to sit quietly, focusing on slow, deep inhales and long, calming exhales. As you breathe, notice any areas of tension in your body and observe your posture. Are you holding your shoulders tightly or clenching your jaw? Acknowledging these signs can spark a journey toward deeper awareness and healing. Unblocking strategies for root energy. Practices for stability. Root energy acts as the foundation of your entire energetic system. It's tied closely to your sense of safety, groundedness, and connection to the physical world. This energy centers around the base of the spine and feels like an anchoring force that supports everything above it. When stable and flowing, root energy provides a deep sense of calm and presence, allowing you to stand firmly in your life. Awareness of this energy often arises as a felt sense, a bodily knowing in your legs, feet, and pelvis that lets you feel rooted in your physical experience. Tuning into this subtle sensation can help you notice when your root energy is strong or when it feels blocked or scattered. Grounding techniques are some of the simplest ways to cultivate that felt sense of stability. These methods involve connecting intentionally with your body and the earth beneath you, helping to build a bridge where energy can flow freely. When you pay attention to the feeling of your feet on the ground, the weight of your body in your chair, or the rhythm of your breath, you invite stability into your system. This kind of awareness trains your nervous system to settle, restoring balance when stress or anxiety causes the root energy to tighten or shut down. Even small, consistent moments of grounding create a foundation for a strong energetic base that supports your whole being. Understanding a few subtle energetic elements can deepen this process. The energetic channels, called nadis, include Ida, Pingala, and Sushumna, which weave the life force through your system. These channels influence the flow between your right and left sides, as well as the central column that runs along your spine. Within the root area are also the Granthis, or knots, like the Brahma Granthi, which can act as energetic blocks or gates. These knots often hold unresolved tension related to survival patterns, fear, or unresolved childhood experiences. They affect the smooth movement of prana, the vital life energy, through your system. Recognizing these knots without judgment allows you to approach root blockages as places for gentle attention rather than something to fix harshly. The 5 vayas, which describe different movements of energy in the body, interact with the root in specific ways. Apana Vayu governs downward and outward movement, helping with release and elimination, both physically and energetically. When Apana flows well, root energy feels expansive and stable. Samana Vayu, which regulates the balance and digestion of energy, works to harmonize what comes up from the root with the rest of the system. When root energy feels stuck, these vayas might be sluggish or blocked, leading to physical sensations like heaviness, tightness, or discomfort in the lower belly and pelvic area. Focusing on these movements provides a practical lens to observe and influence the subtle body through felt experience. To unblock the root center, practices that encourage gentle movement and breath awareness are very effective. Precise micro-movements of the hips, feet, and pelvis open pathways for energy to flow freely. These aren't vigorous exercises, but rather intentional shifts that create space inside the body. Simple actions like rocking your pelvis slightly from side to side or gently lifting your tailbone can activate circulation in the root area. Paired with mindful breathing that follows the natural rhythm of your body, these movements invite energy to soften and settle. Breath awareness is a doorway to reconnecting with your grounding. Slow, deep breaths that expand the lower belly send signals to your nervous system to calm down and organize. When you breathe this way, you support the Apana Vayu, which helps release blockages held in the pelvic floor and lower abdomen. Attention to the breath also cultivates presence, which anchors the mind in the body rather than pulling it into repetitive worries or stress. In rest, the root energy finds more spaciousness and trust builds internally. Another effective approach involves reconnecting with the earth in a direct, physical way. Walking barefoot on natural surfaces like grass, soil, or sand helps discharge built-up tension and draws subtle grounding energy upward. This contact with the earth offers a kind of imprinting, reminding your system of its natural position and balance. Even simply pressing your feet firmly on the ground while seated can awaken the sense of being rooted. Visualizing roots growing from your base into the earth might help some, but the real key is putting your felt sense into your body and the physical connection with the ground. To support these practices, incorporate moments throughout your day where you check in with your body's base. Notice where you carry tension or holding patterns and imagine softening that space. Stay curious about how the root energy feels with each breath or movement, rather than trying to force change. This patient observation becomes a form of energetic massage that gently unwinds layers of resistance. Over time, you may notice increased ease in your posture, stability in your emotions, and a stronger sense of presence in everyday life. A helpful tip is to start each day with a few minutes of slow pelvic tilts combined with deep, mindful breathing. Allow the breath to move naturally, letting the lower belly rise and fall. Feel your feet connecting with the floor, grounding your energy into the earth. This small routine can reset your nervous system and set a steady tone for your day. When the foundation is supported, the rest of the energetic system often adjusts itself with less effort. Chapter 3. The Sacral Terrain, Creativity and Emotional Flow. Identifying overactivation and suppression in sacral energy. When the sacral energy is overactivated, it often shows up as a persistent feeling of restlessness or agitation. You might notice a constant craving for stimulation, whether through activities, social interactions, or sensory input. Physically, there can be a sense of being constantly on edge, with tension in the lower belly or pelvic area that feels harder to relax. Emotionally, overactivation can cause swings, brief moments of joy quickly followed by restlessness or irritability, making it hard to settle into calm or contentment. Behaviors often mirror this imbalance, pushing for more when enough would serve better, like overeating, excessive partying, or impulsive actions that chase fleeting pleasure rather than sustainable joy. Listening closely to sensations and patterns in daily life provides clues that this energy isn't flowing naturally. You might find yourself drawn repeatedly to risky behaviors or feeling an almost compulsive need for novelty, without a real sense of satisfaction. Emotions like frustration, lust, or compulsive desire can swirl relentlessly, making it difficult to feel grounded or centered. Microbehaviors also reveal signs. Bouncing legs, fidgeting, or shallow breathing reflect a restless internal state. Recognizing these signs helps create awareness of overactivation and signals the need for gentle balance instead of pushing further into stimulation. On the other hand, suppression of the sacral energy shows up as a stiffening or constriction in the pelvic region, often felt as a tight hold in the lower body or a sense of disconnect from bodily pleasure. Physically, There might be chronic tension or a flattened posture that indicates a reluctance to connect with feelings or desires. Emotionally, numbness or detachment can take hold, leaving a sense that life feels flat or uninteresting. Limiting beliefs also creep in, whispering that creative expression or pleasure is unnecessary, wrong, or unsafe. These mental blocks block the natural flow of energy and keep the sacral dormant, preventing the full experience of desire, joy, or intimacy. Many people subconsciously develop these patterns when they face trauma, shame, or judgment around their feelings or sexuality. They may suppress authentic emotional expression, hiding their true needs and desires behind a facade of neutrality or disconnection. The body might hold a persistent tension, especially around the hips, lower belly, or pelvis, as if bracing against vulnerability. Recognizing the feeling of emotional numbness or physical tightness is the first step toward easing this suppression. Becoming aware of limiting beliefs, such as "I shouldn't crave too much," or "expressing myself will cause trouble," helps begin dismantling these mental barriers and opening the channel for healthy, creative energy to flow again. One practical tip for recognizing suppression is to notice where in your body you feel stiffness or numbness, especially during times you're feeling emotionally flat or disconnected. Journaling your thoughts about intimacy, pleasure, or creativity can reveal hidden beliefs that block your natural energy. When you catch yourself thinking that certain feelings or desires are wrong or dangerous, it provides a clear signal that suppression may be at play. Moving gently into body awareness practices like breathing or stretching in the pelvic area can help release tension gradually and invite a deeper, more authentic connection with your sacral energy. Origins of sacral imbalances, trauma, suppression, and cultural patterns. The sacral chakra, located in the lower abdomen, governs not just creativity but also the very essence of our emotional health. When we experience trauma, such as loss, neglect, or rejection, these feelings can cause blockages that stifle our ability to express joy and creativity. Suppression often occurs when we learn to hide our true feelings to fit in with societal norms or expectations. This conditioning may lead to a sense of disconnection from our authentic selves, making it harder to tap into our creativity and emotional expression. Cultural patterns play a significant role in shaping how we process experiences and emotions. From a young age, many individuals are told how to feel or how to express their emotions. This can lead to internalized beliefs that stifle creativity and emotional release. When we learn that certain feelings are not accepted or that showing vulnerability is a weakness, we tend to suppress our true selves. This creates an imbalance within the sacral chakra, making it difficult to navigate our emotions and express our creativity fully. For many people, this suppression translates into physical sensations, such as tightness in the lower back or abdomen, symbolizing the energy that has been trapped due to these cultural and personal experiences. Recognizing that trauma and cultural conditioning have influenced our emotional states and creative expression allows for a transformative journey back to our core selves. This process often starts with self-reflection and mindfulness practices that honor our feelings and help us reconnect with our inner creativity. By acknowledging our emotions without judgment, we can slowly begin to rewire outdated beliefs that no longer serve us. This awareness can open up pathways for healing, allowing the natural flow of energy through the sacral center to resume. As we work through these layers of conditioning, practical techniques such as journaling, expressive arts, or even movement can aid in the grounding process. Engaging in activities that promote self-expression can reawaken our creative instincts, releasing built-up tension and emotion trapped in the body. It's about bringing intention to our daily actions, recognizing when we feel stuck, and finding ways to reconnect with our sense of play and inspiration. By consciously addressing these sacral imbalances, we can reclaim our creative vitality, fostering a deeper emotional connection with ourselves and the world around us. Somatic tells, pelvic tension, fluidity, and micromovements. Pelvic tension often feels like a gripping or tightness deep within the lower abdomen and pelvic region. You might sense this as resistance or a kind of holding pattern that isn't easily shaken off. This tension can point to stored emotion that hasn't fully been processed or energy stuck in that part of the body. When emotions such as fear, shame, or stress aren't released, they tend to settle in this area, creating an invisible barrier that restricts movement and natural flow. Over time, this tension becomes a familiar weight, shaping posture and breath without you always realizing it. On a subtle level, this tightness is the body's way of signaling that something is unresolved within. It acts almost like a knot in the threads of your energetic body, blocking the easy passage of life force through the pelvic center. This blockage can affect not just physical comfort but emotional openness and creative expression. Often, people describe the sensation as holding their breath or a feeling of being closed off from the ground or from their own bodies. By tuning in closely, you might notice how this tension surfaces during moments of anxiety or uncertainty, tightening further and demanding attention. Conversely, when your pelvis moves with fluidity and engages in micro-movements, these small, almost imperceptible shifts speak volumes about your emotional state. Fluid pelvic movement reflects a sense of release, openness, and the ability to respond creatively to life's impulses. It reveals an unblocked energy flow, allowing spontaneous and natural expressions to emerge. These tiny shifts, like a subtle rocking or a soft undulation, carry the language of freedom and ease. They suggest that the body is not gripping but instead allowing feelings to rise and fall with grace, making space for new energy and possibilities. These micro-movements can be as simple as a gentle sway, a loosening of the hips, or a slight tilt that happens unconsciously but signals a readiness to soften. Over time, these fluid motions support emotional balance, encouraging the body's natural rhythm to unfold without force. The pelvis becomes a place where creative energy can pulse and move, fueling spontaneity and the joy of presence. When you pay attention to these small motions, you tap into a deeper dialogue between your body and emotions, sensing how open or guarded you might be beneath the surface. By becoming aware of pelvic tension and learning to invite fluidity, you begin to notice the silent messages your body sends. These somatic tells, how your pelvis grips or flows, offer direct insight into where energy is stuck or free. A practical step is to cultivate gentle movement practices that encourage micromobility in the pelvic area, such as mindful stretching or subtle rocking. These moments can open pathways for suppressed feelings to soften and release, creating a space where your inner river flows more naturally without force or strain. Techniques to restore healthy sacral energy flow. Balancing sacral energy often starts with becoming aware of how feelings, sensations, and movements influence this vital center. Embodiment practices like gentle movement or conscious breathing help reconnect you to your physical body, encouraging energy to circulate freely in the pelvis and lower abdomen. For example, rhythmic, flowing motions, like sway or dance, can awaken tissue and fascia that hold stagnant energy, making it easier for feelings and creativity to move through without resistance. Mindful attention during these practices allows you to sense where tension or blockage may reside, giving you feedback on how energy is flowing. Simple awareness can turn into effective tools when you tune into subtle shifts, softening areas that feel tight or numb, helping energy to circulate more naturally. Expanding this awareness, engaging in emotional recognition exercises supports the free flow of sacral energy. Allow yourself to notice what emotions surface without judgment, just observing sensations and thoughts as they come and go. Journaling or silent reflection helps identify patterns, such as shame, guilt, or fear, that might be trapping energy in the pelvis. When these feelings are acknowledged openly, they loosen their grip, making room for more fluid movement of energy and emotion. Gentle practices like hug or self-massage around the hips also stimulate circulation and comfort, which encourages energy to move harmoniously through the sacral region. This process creates a sense of safety, allowing deeper emotional currents to emerge and flow without blockage. Practicing advanced techniques involves working with the body's natural rhythms, often through somatic protocols that target energy blockages directly. Techniques like somatic experiencing or connective tissue release help resolve stored tension within the pelvic area, freeing energy pathways disrupted by stress or trauma. When paired with energetic alignment methods, such as visualization of healing light or aligning chakras, these practices deepen emotional fluidity and creative vitality. For instance, imagining a warm flow of energy moving from the lower spine through the sacrum can reconnect and revitalize dormant pathways. Integrating gentle tapping or micro-movements around the sacral area can also stimulate the nervous system, encouraging energy to shift and realign. These practices work best when approached with a sense of curiosity, letting the body reveal where it's holding tension or blocked energy. Another approach involves working with breath to influence the energy flow. Deep, circular breathing into the pelvis helps oxygenate tissues and activates the parasympathetic nervous system, fostering calm and openness. Using guided visualizations, you can imagine energy rising from the earth into the sacrum, clearing away stagnant patterns. Combining movement with mindful attention during these sessions enhances their effect, aiding in the release of old emotional charges and restoring the natural rhythm of energy. As these protocols become part of your routine, you'll notice increased ease in expressing emotions, deeper feelings of connection, and a more vibrant flow of creative energy coming through the sacral chakra. To deepen your practice, create a sacred space where you can work with these techniques free from distractions. Use calming music or natural sounds, and keep your body relaxed but alert. Remember to listen to your body's signals. Some sensations may be intense or unfamiliar, which is a sign you're working with deeply held patterns. Patience is key. These subtle shifts happen gradually, and giving yourself time encourages genuine integration. Keep in mind that progress may be felt more in sensations and inner shifts than in immediate results. The more trust you cultivate in your body's wisdom, the more effortless the restoration of healthy sacral energy will become, fueling your connection to creativity, intimacy, and pleasurable flow. Chapter 4. The Solar Plexus Terrain, Personal Power and Confidence. Recognizing overcontrol and underexpression in solar plexus. Overcontrol in the solar plexus can stem from a deep-rooted desire to maintain order and predictability in an often chaotic world. This manifests as rigid behaviors where everything must fit into a defined structure, leaving little room for spontaneity or emotional expression. Perfectionism becomes a constant companion, leading individuals to set impossibly high standards for themselves and others. The need to dominate conversations or suppress emotions can create a facade of control, but underneath, there often lies a feeling of burnout or emotional numbness. This struggle between managing perceived chaos and the overwhelming sensation of losing control can be exhausting. People may find themselves stuck in cycles of self-criticism, driven by a fierce inner dialogue that insists on keeping everything in check. They can become so focused on performance and outcomes that they neglect their emotional needs and well-being. When stress levels rise, the body reacts by tightening, resulting in physical symptoms like tension in the stomach or back. This tightening is more than just a physical response. It signifies a disconnection from authentic feelings. Such individuals may hesitate to voice their thoughts or fears, leading to an internal conflict and further reinforcing their desire for control. On the opposite end of the spectrum is underexpression, which reveals itself through a lack of confidence and a pervasive sense of indecisiveness. Individuals may struggle to assert themselves or express their true desires, leaving them feeling powerless in situations where they crave agency. This inability to connect with one's personal will can result in a disconnect from one's purpose and values. Feeling lost and directionless is common as self-doubt creeps in, making it challenging to take even the smallest of steps forward. Physical responses to underexpression can include slumped posture and hesitant body language. Breath may become shallow as feelings of anxiety and uncertainty rise to the surface. This cycle of feeling disconnected can create a chasm between what one wants to achieve and the willingness to pursue those goals. Individuals might find themselves constantly waiting for external validation, fearing judgment or rejection if they speak up or act out. When they do muster the courage to express themselves, it may come out in bursts, often lacking the clarity or resolution needed to be effective. Reflecting on and recognizing these patterns is crucial for healing. Whether stemming from overcontrol or underexpression, these energy patterns can significantly affect personal and spiritual growth. Understanding them provides a pathway to reclaim one's power, leading to a more authentic and aligned existence. A practical tip for those navigating this terrain is to start a daily practice of self-reflection. This can be done through journaling or quiet meditation, where they can explore their feelings without judgment, gaining insight into their inner landscape and learning to express themselves more authentically. Origins of power blockages, self-worth, trauma, and conditioning. The way we see ourselves often forms the foundation of how our personal power flows or gets stuck. Deep within the solar plexus center, the energy of confidence, self-esteem, and personal strength gathers. Early experiences, especially those from childhood, act like invisible architects shaping the blueprint of our self-worth. When these early moments carry messages of not being enough, unworthiness, or constant criticism, they settle into this energetic center, quietly shutting down the flow of power. These old beliefs don't just stay as ideas in the mind, they settle into the body, affecting breath, posture, and even our presence in the world. When the solar plexus feels weak or blocked, it often echoes the stories we've internalized about our value and place in life. Trauma we may not even fully remember plays a crucial role in shaping these blockages. Events that overwhelmed our sense of safety or left us feeling powerless create knots of stuck energy in the subtle body. These patterns can stem from something as direct as harsh words or physical boundaries being crossed, or more subtle things like neglect, abandonment, or constant pressure to conform. Over time, these experiences harden into conditioning, a system of learned responses that aims to protect but ends up limiting genuine expression. For many, this means turning off parts of their energy or shrinking back from the force of their own presence. The trauma doesn't only affect the solar plexus but can bind to the energetic knots known as Granthis, which hold on to fear, shame, or anger. When these knots tighten, the free flow of prana through the nadis, those subtle energy channels linking chakras, is disrupted, often leaving a person feeling stuck inside themselves. Our conditioning is reinforced by repeated messages from family, culture, and society that shape how we understand power and worth. For example, being taught to always put others first, hide emotions, or avoid conflict creates an inner conflict around claiming personal power. This clash appears as tension in the solar plexus, keeping the energy from moving openly. Many times, individuals carry expectations that they must prove their worth through achievement, perfection, or external validation, tying self-esteem to outer success instead of inner truth. Such narratives feed into a cycle where personal power is fragmented or expressed in unhealthy ways, either through excessive control or complete shutdown. The body remembers these patterns even after the mind tries to move past them, highlighting how deeply intertwined belief, trauma, and conditioning can be in creating power blockages. Awareness is the first step toward loosening these blocks. By learning to notice when and how old trauma or limiting beliefs arise in the body, it becomes easier to begin untangling them. Sensory awareness of breath and bodily sensations connected to the solar plexus can offer valuable clues. Sometimes tension or tightness around the stomach or ribs signals trapped energy or fear. Paying close attention to the stories running in the mind, the doubts and negative self-talk, also reveals the conditioning at work. Recognizing these patterns without judgment allows space for healing instead of reinforcing shame or resistance. Practices that focus on gentle movement, mindful breath, or sound can help to dissolve the granthis that hold blockages in place, encouraging energy to flow where it was once stuck. Releasing trauma and conditioning requires patience and kindness toward oneself. Techniques such as grounding exercises, slow conscious breathing, and visualization can support the solar plexus in reclaiming its natural strength and confidence. Gradually facing limiting beliefs and reframing them with compassion creates room for new, empowering stories to take root. The process may also involve working with the flow of the vayas, the 5 directional currents of energy within the body, to rebalance how prana moves through this center. Particular attention to apana, downward energy, and samana, digestive balancing energy, helps integrate and process emotional residues that block personal power. By returning to a felt sense of safety and embodiment, the solar plexus can emerge from protection mode into a place of vibrant authenticity and grounded willpower. Trusting this inner journey is key. It's helpful to remember that blockages are signals, not failures. They point to places where gentle attention can foster deep healing. When we slow down enough to listen to our bodies and feelings, the layers of conditioning and trauma begin to soften. Over time, this creates a new relationship with power, one that is steady, clear, and connected from within rather than driven by fear or outside approval. Awareness practices that encourage daily check-ins with how your solar plexus feels, what thoughts surface, and where tension holds, can guide consistent shifts. The true power lies in this ongoing willingness to meet yourself with openness and honesty, unraveling what no longer serves while nurturing your authentic strength. Try simply observing your breath as it moves through your torso, noticing how it interacts with your sense of self and presence. When you spot tension or hesitation, gently invite curiosity instead of resistance. This simple practice plants seeds for restoring flow and reclaiming the rich source of personal power that lives in your center. Somatic indicators, breath patterns, posture, and micro-reactivity. The solar plexus, located around the upper abdomen, is often considered the seat of personal power. When you pay attention to how you breathe, the way your body naturally settles into posture, some clear clues about your inner confidence and openness emerge. Shallow, restricted breathing can signal feelings of insecurity or self-doubt, while deep, relaxed breaths often suggest a sense of ease and control. Similarly, leaning forward or collapsing inward might reflect a desire to hide or withdraw, whereas an upright, open posture indicates confidence and readiness. These physical signs are more than surface cues. They reveal how connected you are to your sense of self and how comfortable you feel asserting your boundaries. By observing your breath patterns and posture, you get a window into how your energy flows through the solar plexus. Breaths that are quick or held suggest tension or resistance, while slow, full breaths point to openness. Posture that is slouched or constricted can block the flow of personal power, but standing tall with an aligned spine indicates vitality and balanced energy. Your habits in movement and breath can either reinforce feelings of empowerment or reinforce feelings of disconnection. Recognizing these signs turns everyday physical cues into tools for understanding your inner state and cultivating a healthier relationship with your personal power. Practicing awareness of how you breathe and hold yourself can help you notice shifts in your energy before they become overwhelming. Using gentle observation, like reminding yourself to breathe deeply when feeling stressed, or consciously adjusting your posture when feeling insecure, supports a feedback loop. These subtle changes influence how you experience yourself moment to moment, reinforcing a sense of control and confidence. Over time, becoming more conscious of these somatic indicators translates into a natural recalibration of your energy, allowing a stronger, more grounded expression of personal power to emerge naturally from within. Focusing on breath and posture as indicators and tools for empowerment turns everyday bodily cues into powerful means for self-awareness and growth. Small adjustments, like taking a deep breath before reacting or straightening the shoulders, can have a ripple effect, opening the space within the solar plexus for confidence to flow freely. This gentle attention on your body makes it easier to identify inner blocks and to respond consciously rather than react automatically. When these cues are practiced regularly, they support a more stable, authentic presence that emanates from a deep sense of personal strength and alignment. Practices to reclaim personal power and self-efficacy. Many individuals experience internal doubts and external struggles that hinder their confidence. These block patterns often stem from formative experiences and societal conditioning that create a lens through which we perceive ourselves and our capabilities. For instance, past traumas can manifest as apprehension when facing new challenges or an overemphasis on perfection that stifles creativity and spontaneity. Understanding these origins is crucial, as it allows you to identify the voices that echo outdated narratives. Often, these voices are not your own but rather reflections of others' expectations or criticisms that you have internalized over time. To effectively reclaim your personal power, it's essential to recognize how these block patterns operate in your life. You may notice a tendency to avoid certain situations or opportunities because of a deep-seated fear of failure, judgment, or inadequacy. This avoidance reinforces a cycle of self-doubt, making it difficult to step outside your comfort zone. Additionally, these internal struggles can be exacerbated by societal pressures like the relentless pursuit of achievement, leading you to feel like you're constantly in competition with others rather than embracing your unique journey. Engaging in specific microactivities can provide a pathway to dissolve these blockages while fostering a stronger sense of self-efficacy and personal power. Simple breathwork exercises, for instance, can help ground you and bring awareness to your body. By focusing on your breath, you create a pause that interrupts automatic thought patterns driven by fear and self-doubt. This practice encourages you to reconnect with your inner self and become aware of the thoughts and feelings that may arise without immediately acting on them. Posture adjustments also play a significant role in reclaiming personal power. Standing tall with your shoulders back not only alters how you feel but also how others perceive you. This shift can spark a change in your internal narrative, moving from feelings of insecurity to embodying confidence. Affirmations are another powerful tool. They serve as gentle reminders of your abilities and strengths. Repeating positive statements that resonate with you can help overwrite negative self-talk, slowly building a more resilient mental landscape. These micro-practices, though small in scale, can create profound shifts in how you navigate life and its challenges. By integrating these techniques into your daily routine, you create a foundation that supports a more empowered sense of self. Try to dedicate a few minutes each day to these activities, observing how they influence not only your mindset but also your actions and interactions. The journey of reclaiming personal power is ongoing, but each step you take brings you closer to living authentically and confidently. Chapter 5. The Heart Terrain, Love, Compassion, and Connection. Detecting overemphasis and detachment in heart energy. When heart energy becomes overemphasized, it tends to flood the system with intense feelings of love, connection, and empathy, sometimes to the point of losing balance. This can feel like an overwhelming surge of warmth and openness that may make boundaries hazy, causing one to take on other people's emotions as their own. Often, this state comes with a heightened sensitivity that feels both beautiful and draining, with a restless pulse that never quite settles. The felt sense signature here is a pulsation, a flooding sensation in the chest that dips quickly from joy into anxiety or even despair, as the heart struggles to hold so much feeling at once. On the other hand, detachment in heart energy feels like a cool, dry space around the chest, where emotions seem withdrawn or muted. There is a visible gap between the person and their own emotional experience, almost as if the heart is hesitant to engage or surrender to feelings. This can bring a sense of loneliness or disconnection, where warmth and empathy feel inaccessible, even when logically they are desired. The energy here is sparse and restrained, like a shadow that keeps feelings just out of reach. Physical signals often reveal where heart energy is stuck in either extreme. Someone caught in overemphasis might lean forward too much during conversations, reaching out with their hands or clinging emotionally. Their breath may be shallow but quick, carried high in the chest, reflecting a nervous energy beneath the surface. Eye contact might be intense or overly fixed, searching for connection or affirmation repeatedly. In contrast, detached heart energy shows up differently. The posture may seem closed off, shoulders rounded inward, or a tendency to avoid eye contact. Their breathing often feels shallow but slow, as if holding emotions at bay. The face might appear blank or show subtle signs of guardedness, a protective mask that creates distance rather than closeness. The internal self-talk of someone with overemphasized heart energy may revolve around needing to be liked, loved, or accepted at all costs, sometimes repeating phrases like, "I must make everyone happy" or "I can't handle being alone." Detached heart energy, however, carries a different voice, "I am better off alone" or "feelings just get in the way." These beliefs feed the gap that disconnects them from their true emotional center. Restoring balance between too much and too little heart energy requires gentle attention to bodily cues and shifting unhelpful mental patterns. Grounding practices can help by bringing the breath deeper into the abdomen, encouraging the chest to open gradually without flooding. Mindfulness around posture, such as consciously softening the shoulders and allowing the gaze to relax, invites the heart to have space without rushing or shutting down. It also helps to observe self-talk and gently question it, replacing extreme ideas like "I must feel everything" or "I should never show my feelings" with more balanced reminders such as "I can feel deeply and still take care of myself" or "it's safe to open gently." Engaging in small acts of boundary setting can anchor heart energy, allowing openness without overwhelm. Whether saying no to emotional demands or taking quiet moments alone, these practices support integration. Over time, this calibrated heart energy feels like a river flowing steadily rather than a flood or drought, warm, alive, and resilient without losing itself in others or withdrawing into isolation. Root causes of heart imbalances, past relationships and emotional wounds. Many times, emotional wounds from past relationships linger in the body long after the relationship has ended. These unresolved feelings can shape how we connect with others now, often creating barriers that feel hard to break through. When a heart is hurt, whether through betrayal, abandonment, or rejection, it leaves an imprint that can distort the way love and trust are experienced. These imprints tend to reinforce patterns of avoidance or clinginess, which can interfere with genuine connection. Over time, accumulated emotional pain becomes a silent weight, blocking the natural flow of love and openness in the heart terrain. Such wounds don't just stay as memories, they manifest physically as tightness in the chest, shallow breathing, or an overall sense of heaviness. They often lead to feelings of unworthiness, fear of vulnerability, or guilt about what happened. When these feelings are ignored or suppressed, they tend to deepen, causing the heart to become cautious or defensive. This protective armor keeps us from feeling fully safe and seen, reinforcing a cycle that distances us from loving relationships. These patterns can persist for years unless they are acknowledged and gently released, which is key to restoring balance and harmony to the heart. Past relationships often serve as mirrors for our deepest fears about love and ourselves. If trust was broken or love was unreciprocated, it can lead to doubts about our worthiness or fears of abandonment. These beliefs take root in the subconscious and influence present-moment interactions, making us hesitant to open fully. Many carry emotional scars that cause them to shield their hearts with walls made of skepticism or perfectionism. Recognizing that these wounds live within us as energetic and emotional patterns is the first step toward healing. As these patterns unwind, the heart begins to reclaim its capacity for genuine connection and love. Attachment styles formed during early life influence how we relate to love and intimacy. For example, someone with an anxious attachment might constantly seek reassurance and fear abandonment, while a person with avoidant tendencies might distance themselves before anyone can get too close. These styles are shaped by childhood experiences, whether through inconsistent caregiving, neglect, or overprotection. They create belief systems that a heart might not be safe or that love is too risky, which in turn blocks emotional openness. When these patterns are active, a person may struggle to trust their feelings or to express vulnerability without feeling exposed or overwhelmed. Trauma, particularly emotional trauma from past relationships, can deeply embed itself in the body. Experiences like betrayal, loss, or betrayal can trigger a fight-or-flight response that becomes habitual. This causes the nervous system to stay in a heightened state, where opening the heart feels unsafe or too painful to endure. The body may react with tight shoulders, clenched jaws, or shallow breathing, signs that the heart's energy is constrained. These somatic cues point to deeper belief systems that say, "Love is dangerous," or "I can't be safe in my emotions." Recognizing these patterns helps us understand that blockages are often rooted in survival mechanisms that once protected us but now restrict emotional growth. Beliefs that sustain these patterns include, "I am not enough," "Love will hurt me again," or "I must control to stay safe." These beliefs shape how we interpret every interaction, often preventing genuine openness. When a heart is closed due to past wounds or attachment fears, it becomes invisible to others, and genuine connection feels impossible. Gently exploring these beliefs and understanding their origins can help release old trauma, making space for new experiences of trust and love to flourish. Physical sensations in the body are often tied to these emotional and belief patterns. Tension in the chest, tightness around the shoulders, or numbness in the heart area may all indicate underlying emotional blocks. Microtells like rapid breathing when discussing relationships or tense jaw muscles while forming connections serve as clues that the heart is still in protective mode. Becoming aware of these somatic signals allows us to notice where old wounds still hold sway, offering opportunities to intervene and soften these areas. Softening the body can help to reopen channels of expression and foster a greater capacity for emotional openness. Addressing these root causes involves consciously working to shift beliefs and healing trauma through gentle practices like breathwork, body awareness, and compassionate self-reflection. Questioning the narratives that say "I'm unworthy" or "love always leads to pain" can open the mind to new possibilities. Releasing trauma may include visualizations or safe storytelling, creating a sense of safety and containment. Over time, this effort can dissolve old fear-based patterns, allowing the heart to radiate more freely. Building trust in oneself begins with acknowledging these wounds without judgment, giving space for genuine healing to unfold. As these patterns begin to clear, the heart's natural rhythm of love and connection can resume. Holding awareness of the body's signals and responding with gentle care starts the process of rewiring old pathways. Simple practices like placing a hand on the heart, practicing deep breathing, or repeating affirmations of worthiness can help to reinforce new, healthier beliefs. Healing is rarely instant, but persistent kindness toward oneself and a gentle acknowledgement of old wounds can slowly restore the openness necessary for deep, fulfilling relationships. The key lies in patience and consistency, trusting that the body's signals are guiding us toward healing what was once hidden in silence. Somatic clues, chest tension, breathing, and micro-expressions. When we feel tension in the chest, it often manifests as a tightness that can be uncomfortable. This tension can signal that something is off within us emotionally or energetically. It might come from stress, unresolved emotions, or even the weight of expectation. Noticing how your chest feels at any given moment can shed light on what you may be experiencing internally, allowing for more profound self-awareness. Our breath is intricately connected to these feelings. Shallow or hurried breathing can indicate anxiety or fear, while deep, relaxed breaths often signal calmness and confidence. Paying attention to our breathing can offer insights into our current emotional state and help us to regulate our feelings better. When we sense tension in our chest, instead of just pushing through it, we can pause and check in with ourselves. What is my body trying to tell me? Are there feelings of grief, joy, or maybe anger trying to surface? By acknowledging these feelings, we create a pathway for processing them. Taking deep, intentional breaths can also reduce anxiety and help us reconnect to our heart space, where love and compassion reside. Even small shifts, like relaxing the shoulders or elongating the spine, can have profound effects on our body's energy flow. Practicing mindfulness in this way allows us to stay present with our emotions, nurturing authentic connections with ourselves and others, ultimately guiding us to a more balanced emotional landscape. Pay attention to micro-expressions, those fleeting facial movements that often reveal hidden emotions. A brief tightening of the lips or a furrowed brow might communicate discomfort or distress, even if the person verbally expresses something different. By tuning in to these small signals, we can better understand our emotions and the emotions of those around us. Ask yourself, what is the subtle language of my body saying? This awareness can foster deeper empathy, allowing us to connect with others more authentically. So, as you go about your day, take a moment to feel into your chest, notice your breath, and observe the subtleties of your expressions. Embracing these somatic clues can enhance your relationships and lead to a richer, more connected life. Healing heart energy. Techniques for openness and resilience. When the heart's energy feels open and alive, there is a clear sense of expansiveness that spreads gently through the chest, often accompanied by warmth and a subtle, rhythmic pulsing. This sensation isn't just physical, it carries an emotional quality of softness and availability to the world around you. It feels like a quiet openness, inviting connection without pressure, as if your emotional boundaries are flexible yet strong. This pulse might mimic the natural rhythm of a heartbeat, steady but light, signaling a balance between giving and receiving love. The warmth can feel like sunlight filtering through a window, comforting and steady, while the expansiveness opens more room for vulnerability and empathy. Often, when your heart energy is flowing freely, there's also a certain lightness to your breath, a gentle rise and fall that mirrors this internal openness, encouraging a deep emotional resilience that allows you to bounce back from challenges with grace. Yet, many people carry subtle blockages in their heart space that create tension or tightness instead of warmth and openness. These can show up as feelings of guardedness, where the chest feels constricted or tense, as though a protective shield is drawn to keep potential hurt at bay. Sometimes this guardedness manifests as holding your breath or shallow breathing, a physical sign that the heart is not fully released. Guilt is another common block, often heavy and sinking, dragging the heart downward with a weight that makes it hard to feel light or expansive. Over-attachment is yet another pattern that can close the heart, marked by clinging to certain people, outcomes, or ideas too tightly, which restricts the natural flow of emotional energy. These blocks make it difficult to form genuine connections or to offer compassion freely, because they tie the heart's energy to fear or past pain rather than present openness. Recognizing these patterns within yourself is the first step toward loosening the grip they have on your heart's true energy. Understanding the subtle body's flow can help you work with your heart's energy more directly. The heart center sits at the crossroad of major energy channels called nadis, specifically Ida, Pingala, and Sushumna, which carry vital energy throughout the body. When the heart knot, or Granthi, is tangled by emotional wounds, it interrupts this flow, creating tightness or numbness. The 5 vayas, or energetic winds, also play a role here. The prana vayu governs the inward flow of life force through the chest, while vyana vayu manages circulation outward from the heart to the limbs and back. When these vayas move freely, the heart area feels balanced, supporting openness and resilience. If they become stuck, the energy feels clotted or stagnant. A practical way to address this is through gentle breathwork targeted at the chest, breathing deeply into the heart space to invite warmth and expansion, mindful of sensations like soft pulsations or subtle temperature changes. This direct felt sense approach helps release blockages without relying on abstract concepts, instead focusing on what you actually experience inside your body when your heart begins to open or close. One way to notice changes is to pay close attention to your posture and micro-movements. When the heart is sealed, shoulders may round forward or the chest might feel collapsed as if protecting a vulnerable place. Your voice might tighten or take on a guarded tone, and your eyes could avert direct contact, signaling a block around openness. Conversely, when the heart is resilient and open, your chest naturally lifts and expands with each breath, and your presence feels inviting without effort. These are subtle but reliable signs from your somatic system, revealing how your body holds emotional patterns. The gentle pulsations you tune into could become messages guiding you through healing, signaling when a knot in your heart energy is loosening and space is returning. Trusting these cues rather than rushing into intellectual explanations is a way to honor your own pace and the organic flow of healing. As you work with your heart energy, giving yourself permission to feel without judgment is key. Resistance and control often build the very walls that keep your heart from fully opening. Instead, allow sensations of warmth, softness, and pulsation to settle in with curiosity and kindness. You might find it helpful to place a hand gently on your chest during moments of heart-focused breath, acknowledging the flutter of life there even amid discomfort. This simple gesture can create a bridge between your conscious mind and the deeper felt experience of your heart space. Over time, this practice cultivates resilience by reminding you that openness doesn't mean fragility. It means being able to hold whatever comes without losing your center. A practical tip to begin this process is to spend a few minutes each day with slow, deep breaths aimed at the area around your heart, inviting any sensations of warmth or gentle movement to emerge. This can anchor your awareness in the present moment and support steady healing from within. Chapter 6. The Throat Terrain, Communication and Authenticity. Signs of overexpression and suppression in throat energy. When the throat energy becomes overactive, it often manifests as an urge to talk excessively or to dominate conversations. People may find themselves speaking loudly, interrupting others, or feeling a compulsive need to be heard at all costs. Tension in the neck and jaw muscles can become noticeable, sometimes causing discomfort or stiffness. This overassertiveness can act as a shield, hiding deeper feelings of insecurity or fear of being ignored. Often, there's a need to control how others see us through words, creating a loud exterior that masks vulnerability. Overexpression can also look like constant chatter, gossiping, or filling silence with unnecessary details. There's a feeling of never quite being satisfied with silence or stillness, so the voice keeps pushing out words. Sometimes, it stems from an inner feeling that one's voice is not heard enough, prompting relentless attempts to draw attention. This energy can make people appear dominant or forceful, and it's often accompanied by physical signs like clenched jaws, tight throats, or strained vocal cords. When the throat energy is overexpressed, there's a risk of exhausting the voice or feeling emotionally drained from constant talking. On the other side, suppressing throat energy shows up as difficulty speaking or expressing oneself clearly. People might find their voices feeling muffled or strained, as if their words get caught behind a barrier. Avoiding conversations becomes natural, and they may choose silence over sharing their true feelings or opinions. This can lead to feelings of frustration or internal tension that builds over time. Physically, posture may reflect this inner withholding, shoulders slumping, chin lowered, or head slightly bowed. When the throat energy is suppressed, it's as if the voice has lost its power, making authentic self-expression feel like a challenge. People might also notice themselves withdrawing from conversations or feeling anxious about speaking in public. An internal voice might tell them they don't have anything valuable to say, or that their feelings don't matter. This pattern stems from fears of rejection, criticism, or not being accepted. Over time, suppression can lead to a sense of isolation or feeling disconnected from one's true self. The physical signs include dry throat, tight neck muscles, or a lingering feeling of something left unsaid. When throat energy remains blocked, expressing even simple thoughts can feel like a monumental effort, stifling essential parts of personal truth. Practicing gentle vocal exercises and mindfulness around speaking can help loosen these patterns. For those leaning toward overexpression, learning to listen more and find comfort in silence encourages balance. For those who suppress, creating safe spaces to share gradually can rebuild confidence. Remember, the goal is to find that middle ground where your voice feels both authentic and free, whether you're speaking or listening. A simple daily practice such as humming or speaking softly to yourself can begin to reconnect the throat energy, easing both overactivation and suppression over time. Origins of throat blockages: fear, trauma, and suppressed voice. Fear, trauma, and suppressed voices often trace back to early life experiences and societal conditioning. These formative moments can shape how we express ourselves throughout our lives. Imagine a child who is repeatedly told to be quiet or to not speak up in class. This child may learn to associate their voice with disapproval or ridicule, creating a deep-seated fear of speaking out. This conditioning becomes a part of their identity, influencing their adult life and limiting their ability to express themselves fully. As children, we are sponges, soaking up the messages from our families, schools, and cultures. Positive reinforcement for speaking out can lead to confidence, while negative experiences can create blockages in our ability to communicate. For instance, a traumatic experience, like being laughed at for singing in front of others, can manifest as a tightening in the throat. Over time, this tension can evolve into physical blockages that inhibit voice and expression. The origins of throat blockages significantly influence how we experience communication as adults. Physical symptoms like tension in the neck or throat may arise when we struggle to voice our thoughts and feelings. This can create a cycle of vocal hesitation. Each time we hold back our words, we reinforce the blockage. Emotional suppression, such as the inability to express anger or sadness, also contributes to this dynamic, preventing the natural flow of emotional energy through the throat chakra. Recognizing these blockages is the first step towards healing. Becoming aware of how fear, anxiety, or past trauma impacts your voice is essential for authentic communication. It is important to identify the specific events that led to your throat blockages. Reflecting on moments when you felt unheard or pressured to remain silent can help illuminate the path towards freedom of expression. A practical tip for addressing these throat blockages is to engage in vocal practices like humming or gentle speaking exercises. These activities can help release tension and build confidence, creating space for your true voice to emerge. Consider setting aside time each day for these practices, gradually finding comfort in expressing yourself freely. Somatic tells, neck tension, breathing, and micromovements. The subtle tension often held in the neck speaks volumes about how a person communicates and whether their expression flows naturally or feels blocked. The neck acts like a bridge between the heart and the head, channeling feelings into words and gestures. When tension lodges here, it often reflects a hesitation, an inner resistance to speaking one's truth or fully showing up in conversation. This tightness might not be obvious at first glance, but it carries a distinct weight, like a silent signal of restraint or guardedness. The nervousness, unresolved emotions, or even habitual self-censorship can create a coil of stiffness around the throat, restricting the voice and the authentic self-expression that lives there. Neck tension doesn't simply happen by chance. It tends to mirror deeper communication patterns rooted in our relationships and experiences. Someone who feels unheard or dismissed may unconsciously clamp down their neck muscles, protecting their vulnerability. On the other hand, a person who struggles with overexpression might hold a different kind of strain, one that signals overwhelm or the need to control how others perceive them. When the neck is free and supple, it allows for a clear, resonant voice not only to arise but also to ripple through the body with confidence. Awareness of these subtle physical clues can reveal how open or closed someone is to truthful exchange, serving as a quiet guide for those seeking to understand themselves more fully or read others with a gentle intuition. Micromovements such as subtle shifts in posture and rhythmic breathing offer a window into the state of the throat's energy field, often called the throat chakra or vishuddha. Small changes, like a slight tilt of the head, a quick swallow, or the way the shoulders adjust when speaking, reveal whether energy flows freely or feels constricted. Breathing patterns are especially telling. Smooth, relaxed inhalations and exhalations suggest openness, while shallow, erratic breaths point to tension or blockage. These tiny physical gestures are like a language spoken beneath words, showing how easily one can express inner truths or if something remains held back. In moments of stress or emotional tightness, the rhythm of breath might speed up or unevenly pause, creating a feedback loop that tightens the throat and stiffens posture in response. Noticing these small movements doesn't require expert skill, just gentle attention. The body continuously offers clues about where energy is moving or stuck, and the throat area, being so closely tied to communication and self-expression, tells one of the most nuanced stories. For example, when someone sighs deeply before speaking, it often signals a subtle effort to release built-up tension, resetting the energy so words can flow with less resistance. Conversely, freezing or very still micromovements might indicate fear or the need to withdraw, literally closing the throat's energetic passage. Cultivating this kind of somatic awareness helps connect the dots between what's being said and what's being held unspoken, opening doors to richer, more embodied communication on and off the meditation cushion. Paying attention to how neck muscles tighten or relax in response to different social or emotional situations can serve as a practical tool for anyone working with energy or spiritual growth. Even small practices like gentle neck stretches combined with mindful breathing can begin to unravel long-held blocks in this region. Observing the natural pace and depth of the breath, without trying to control it, invites a softening of restrictions and encourages the throat energy to circulate more freely. By tuning into these micro-movements and the sensations beneath them, it becomes easier to notice when communication feels authentic versus when it carries layers of protection or tension, allowing for deeper self-connection and clearer expression. A simple place to start is by watching how the neck feels in moments of quiet and speaking, noticing shifts without judgment and letting the body guide the way toward more ease. Unblocking voice and expression, practical vocal and somatic practices. Our bodies send us signals about how open or blocked our voice is at any given moment. When your voice feels tight, strained, or hesitant, you might notice physical signs like shallow breathing, tense shoulders, or a clenched jaw. Sometimes, the chest feels heavy or you experience a sudden rush of nervous energy in the throat or belly. These cues act as whispers from your system, showing where energy may be holding back and where your natural flow is being interrupted. On the other hand, when your voice is flowing freely, your body tends to feel relaxed, open, and connected. You might notice smooth, even breathing, a softness in your face, and a looseness in your neck and shoulders. The posture often aligns naturally, chest slightly lifted, spine upright but not stiff. Paying attention to these bodily signals can help you catch moments when your expression is limited and begin to gently guide yourself back into ease and openness. Physical and somatic signs act as immediate feedback. For example, if you notice your breath catching or your stomach tightening before speaking, these are areas where tension might be constricting your voice. Recognizing these clues allows you to become more aware of how your body holds your emotional states and how those states influence your ability to express authentically. Developing this awareness creates a bridge between feeling and doing, making it easier to find your natural voice during everyday interactions or in moments of creative expression. Once you notice where tension or restriction exists, gentle movement and breath can become your allies. Start with simple stretches, like slowly rolling your shoulders or gently tilting your head side to side to release tight muscles in your neck and jaw. Focus on deep, diaphragmatic breathing, placing your hand on your belly. As you breathe in, feel it expand. As you breathe out, feel it soften. This steady, relaxed breath creates space in your body and naturally helps to loosen the throat and chest muscles that often tighten when you're nervous or unsure. Another effective technique is to gently hum or vocalize on open sounds like M or R, allowing your voice to flow without strain. Notice how your body responds when your voice is free. Often, it encourages an open posture and reduces tension. Incorporating slow, mindful movements like gentle chest lifts or arm stretches can also help loosen restrictive holding patterns. These practices foster trust with your body, reminding you that expressing yourself is a natural process that can be unlocked with patience and consistency. In addition, practicing light vocal exercises that include slides and open vowels helps to build confidence and strength. For instance, gradually gliding from a low pitch to a higher one or holding a sustained sound encourages a more open, supported voice. Pairing these with intentional physical awareness, like feeling the sensation of your breath or the movement of your chest, makes the process more embodied. Over time, these micro-practices create a sense of safety and familiarity with your authentic voice, making it easier to speak or sing with clarity and confidence, no matter the setting. Remember, the goal isn't to force the voice but to cultivate a gentle openness that allows expression to naturally emerge. Practicing regularly, especially in moments of low stress, helps your body develop new patterns of relaxation and strength. Focus on engaging with your body compassionately, and trust that your voice is always eager to find its natural rhythm when given the space and support it needs. A simple tip to incorporate daily is to set aside a few quiet moments for diaphragmatic breathing combined with soft humming. Doing this consistently builds a foundation of openness and strength that carries into your speaking or singing. As you become more familiar with your bodily cues and learn to respond kindly to them, your voice will start to feel less like a fragile tool and more like a genuine extension of your true self. Chapter 7. The Third Eye Terrain, Intuition and Inner Vision. Detecting overactivation and disconnection in third eye. The third eye, located in the center of the forehead, plays a crucial role in sharpening intuition and inner vision. When this chakra is overactive, individuals may experience heightened sensitivity to their thoughts and surroundings. This can manifest as anxiety, excessive overthinking, and a feeling of being disconnected from reality. On the flip side, disconnection may surface as a numbness to intuition, difficulty in accessing deeper insights, or a general sense of confusion. Subtle bodily signals can indicate these states, such as a tension in the forehead or temples, improper posture, and even patterns of shallow breathing. Being aware of these felt sense signals is the first step toward recognizing when the third eye is out of balance. The body holds a wealth of information about our energy systems. Engaging with these body cues can provide insight into the health of the third eye. For example, if you notice frequent headaches or a persistent feeling of pressure in the head, these could be signals of overactivation. Conversely, if your thoughts feel murky or you often doubt your instincts, this might indicate a disconnection. Taking time to check in with your body can empower you to recognize these signs sooner, allowing for timely adjustments. Bringing awareness to your breath can be an effective way to restore balance to the third eye. Deep, intentional breathing helps ground your energy and encourages clarity. Practice inhaling deeply through your nose, allowing your abdomen to expand, and then exhaling slowly out of your mouth. This simple technique can create a calming effect, clearing any static that might cloud your intuition. Grounding exercises are also beneficial. Standing or sitting with your feet firmly placed on the ground can help reconnect with the earth element, drawing excess energy away from the head. Visualization techniques can further assist in realigning the third eye. Envision a soft, violet light glowing at the center of your forehead, expanding gently with each breath you take. This light represents clarity and insight, helping you to open and balance the third eye. Combining visualization with affirmations can deepen your practice. Repeating phrases such as "I trust my intuition" or "I see clearly" can reinforce positive energy in the area. Creating a consistent practice around these strategies builds a deeper connection to your inner vision, allowing it to flourish and grow. For holistic care of the third eye, don't forget to incorporate self-reflection during your routine. Journaling about your experiences, insights, and any challenges can help uncover patterns that may need attention. This process creates space for deeper understanding and healing, serving as a powerful tool to balance the energies within. Carrying these practices into everyday life can lead to a clearer, more intuitive experience of the world. Origins of third eye imbalances, overstimulation, trauma, and beliefs. The third eye, often linked to intuition, insight, and inner vision, can become disrupted when it experiences overstimulation, trauma, or is influenced by deep-rooted beliefs. When this energy center becomes hyperreactive, it often results in sensations that feel overwhelming, flashes of light, intense dreams, or a sense of mental fog. These sensations aren't always pleasant. They can distort how you perceive reality, making it difficult to trust your inner knowing or maintain a balanced outlook. This hyperreactivity is like a nerve that's been struck repeatedly. It sends signals that are uncomfortable and confusing, leading to heightened anxiety or distorted perceptions of the world around you. Overstimulation often happens when the senses or the mind are pushed beyond their natural limits. In the case of the third eye, this might mean prolonged exposure to intense imagery, synthetic environments, or spiritual practices done without proper grounding. Imagine turning a camera's lens constantly, never allowing it to rest. The third eye can similarly become fatigued, reacting more aggressively as a way to protect itself. Trauma plays a significant role as well. Emotional wounds or shock create energetic knots that interfere with the smooth flow of energy through this chakra. These knots can trap energy, causing misfires in perception and feelings of disconnection from one's intuitive abilities. Sometimes trauma leaves an imprint that causes the third eye to either shut down or fire erratically, contributing to sensations of dissociation or overwhelming visions. Deep-seated beliefs also shape how the third eye functions. These beliefs might root in cultural teachings, family narratives, or personal experiences. If someone is raised to fear intuition or dismiss spiritual experiences as crazy or dangerous, the third eye may develop a protective block or respond with anxiety when opening is attempted. On the other hand, beliefs that demand constant spiritual vigilance or higher knowing can cause a person to force their awareness, pushing the third eye into overdrive. Both extremes interfere with balanced sensory input and clear perception. The resulting patterns can leave individuals feeling out of sync with their own inner voice or overwhelmed by unsolicited images and impressions that seem to flood their minds without invitation. Understanding the roots of these imbalances makes it easier to approach healing with patience and care. When you begin to see that overstimulation, trauma, and beliefs each contribute unique challenges, you can create space for gentle recalibration rather than aggressive adjustment. This means slowing down, tuning into your body's signals, and giving your third eye permission to settle rather than forcing it to perform. Mindful practices like slow, grounding breathwork or quiet meditation can support this process by inviting energy back into calm circulation and reducing the tendency to react intensely to sensory or intuitive input. Healing also requires acknowledging the stories carried around the third eye. When you recognize how certain beliefs have formed and influenced your experience of intuition, you can gently question and reshape them. This doesn't involve quick fixes or denying past pain, but welcoming these narratives with curiosity and compassion, allowing the energetic knots to untangle naturally. Such practices invite a shift from distorted perception toward nuanced insight, where clarity emerges not through forcing but by opening space for natural knowing to arise. With consistent care, the third eye moves from chaos or dullness back towards subtle reception, enabling clearer inner guidance and a grounded connection to both visible and unseen aspects of life. Try to notice when sensations around your forehead or between your brows escalate during spiritual or daily activities. When this pressure or intensity grows, pause and anchor yourself by feeling your feet on the ground or focusing on your breath. This simple act creates a physiological counterbalance that reminds your nervous system it's safe, helping the third eye's energy to harmonize rather than spiral. Over time, small moments like these collect to build a quiet but steady ease within your inner vision. Somatic indicators, head tension, eye movements, and micro-behavior. The way your body holds tension in your head can reveal a lot about your internal state. Slight tightening of the forehead or a subtle squeezing of the temples often shows mental stress or focus. When your mind is calm and aligned, there is usually a noticeable softness or relaxation in these areas. Head tension might also come from energy blockages or habits of holding on to stress, so paying attention to these small signals can help you become more aware of your mental and emotional fluctuations. Eye movements are another rich source of information. Smooth, deliberate eye shifts may indicate inner clarity, while rapid or darting eye motions can suggest anxiety, distraction, or inner tension. Sometimes, eyes may linger longer on specific points, hinting at unresolved concerns or areas where your intuition is signaling importance. Watching how your eyes move during meditation or daily life can reveal patterns of thought and feeling that are less obvious at first glance, but very telling of your inner state. Micro-behaviors, such as tiny facial gestures, eye blinks, or subtle shifts in posture, also speak volumes. For example, a quick jaw clench might show frustration, or a slight shrug could signal uncertainty. These micro-movements happen unconsciously but serve as quick feedback loops showing what's happening beneath conscious awareness. Noticing these micro-behaviors in yourself is a helpful way to catch residual tension or emotional responses before they deepen into more noticeable physical symptoms or mental distractions. All of these indicators, head tension, eye movements, and micro-behaviors, act like a body's language, quietly communicating your internal energy flow. The key is to observe without judgment, simply noticing where tension appears or behaviors shift. Over time, recognizing these signals creates a better connection between your body and mind, allowing you to work with your energy more consciously and support your journey toward clear intuition and balanced awareness. Incorporating regular checks on these somatic signals can make a real difference in your practice. Only by systematically tuning into these subtle cues can you develop a fine-tuned awareness that guides you through balancing your third eye. Practicing gentle body scans during meditation, focusing on head and eye sensations, and observing micro-behaviors throughout your day can help you deepen your sense of where blocks or openness exist. The more you notice, the more your body becomes a trusted guide on your spiritual path. Remember, even small changes in head tension or eye movement can signal shifts in energy. For example, relaxing your forehead might reduce mental fog, or calming your eye movements could enhance your clarity. Using this knowledge practically, you can set gentle intentions during meditation or daily mindfulness, such as softening your brow or consciously slowing your eye shifts. These small moves empower you to keep your energy flowing smoothly and stay connected to your intuitive insights. Enhancing intuition. Practices for clarity and inner sight. Practices that cultivate clarity play a pivotal role in enhancing our intuitive insight and inner vision. Meditation is one of the most effective tools for this purpose. By sitting quietly and focusing on your breath, you create a space to connect with your inner self. As your mind quiets, you begin to notice subtle thoughts and feelings that often go unnoticed in the hustle of daily life. Engaging with these moments can lead to new insights and deeper understanding of your emotions and intuition. In addition to traditional meditation techniques, focused visualization is another powerful practice. This involves creating vivid mental images of what you desire or how you want to feel. For example, visualizing yourself surrounded by light or achieving a goal can enhance your intuitive abilities to guide you toward that vision. These practices help bridge the gap between the conscious and subconscious mind. As you become more skilled in meditation and visualization, you may find that your intuition becomes clearer and more reliable. These practices also encourage a sense of stillness, allowing you to tune into your body signals and the energy around you. By dedicating time each day to meditate or visualize, even for a few minutes, you can gradually build a stronger connection to your intuition. Over time, you'll likely notice instances where your gut feelings align with outcomes, reinforcing your trust in this inner guide. Additionally, paying attention to subtle energy cues can inform you about your intuitive state. Notice how your body feels when considering different options or decisions. Sometimes, tension in your shoulders or a flutter in your stomach can signal that something is amiss. Conversely, feelings of openness and warmth may indicate alignment with your intuition. A grounding practice like yoga or tai chi can also help center your energy and strengthen your body-mind connection. As you strengthen your somatic cues and align your third eye, you'll find that your intuitive clarity increases, making it easier for you to trust your instinctual responses. Regularly checking in with yourself throughout the day can reinforce this alignment. Ask yourself how you feel about a situation or decision. Do you feel curious, anxious, or excited? Acknowledging these sensations helps build trust in your intuition. Consider setting a reminder on your phone to pause and reflect at various points during your day. This practice encourages you to stay connected to your inner voice and helps cultivate the clarity needed to navigate life more intuitively. Chapter 8. The Crown Terrain, Spiritual Connection and Transcendence. Recognizing disconnection and overabsorption in crown energy. When your crown energy feels disconnected, you might notice a creeping numbness or a sense of emptiness where spiritual connection once felt alive. This isn't just a vague feeling, it often shows up as overwhelm or confusion, leaving you unsure about your place in the spiritual flow. Imagine trying to tune into a radio station but only getting static. There's a signal, but it's faint or interrupted. Sometimes, feeling lost or detached can also be paired with a heavy mental fog, as if your thoughts are floating away with no anchor. This detachment may not be obvious at first because it can feel like a deep inward quiet, but that quiet hides a subtle loss of touch with the essence of your being. Disconnection in the crown isn't just about spiritual withdrawal. It can carry a sense of being overabsorbed in the swirling thoughts or energies that come through the crown center. You might find yourself lost in abstract ideas or spiritual concepts, yet not grounded in a lived experience. This imbalance often makes you feel split between worlds, not fully in your body or grounded in everyday reality, but not fully tuned into a clear spiritual knowing either. Recognizing these feelings means noticing when your inner world and outer reality are out of sync, which can appear as numbness, a feeling of being overwhelmed, or just drifting without direction. Overabsorption in the crown energy can look like a kind of escaping from physical presence, where your awareness zooms out so far into spiritual concepts or visions that your body feels forgotten. This can happen during deep meditation or even while going about daily life, leading to a sense of depletion or exhaustion because your energetic focus is all turned upward with little connection to the base or mid-body energies. When someone is overabsorbed, their identity may start blending too much with the crown's expansiveness. Ideas about enlightenment, cosmic unity, or universal consciousness, without enough grounding in personal experience. This kind of absorption can create imbalance. You may notice a subtle detachment from your senses or emotions, as if you are watching your life unfold from the outside rather than fully engaging with it. Your breath and your body become background noise, and mental chatter might run on replay with spiritual thoughts that don't lead to clarity but rather to confusion or fatigue. This makes it harder to come back to the simple felt sense of I am here, which is crucial for maintaining health in the crown center. A nervous system overwhelmed like this needs renewed attention to being present, not just expanding, to keep your energy stable. Balancing this involves gently bringing awareness back to the body and the moment without shutting down the crown's natural openness. For example, when you feel drawn too far into mental or spiritual abstraction, pause and notice your breath or feel your feet on the ground. This allows you to reconnect with your physical presence while holding the spaciousness of crown energy. Remember, the crown is meant to connect you to higher awareness without losing touch with the life you live daily. Awareness of these shifts in experience, between connection and overabsorption, is the first step to nurturing a healthy flow of energy through the crown and beyond. Origins of crown imbalances, spiritual burnout, dogma, and over-identification. When the crown chakra becomes out of harmony, it often roots back to issues like spiritual burnout, rigid beliefs, or over-identification with spiritual identities. Spiritual burnout can happen when efforts to stay connected or enlightened become exhausting, leading to a sense of disconnection or apathy. It's easy to push ourselves too hard, thinking that perseverance will eventually lead to spiritual breakthrough, but this often results in feeling drained rather than uplifted. Dogmatic beliefs can create mental rigidity, shutting down genuine curiosity and blocking the flow of divine inspiration. Over-identification with spiritual roles or labels can cause a mental trap, where identity becomes fragile and overly dependent on spiritual ideals, obscuring the experience of true connection beyond the ego. Many times, these patterns develop subtly. For example, holding tight to specific doctrines can turn spirituality into a mental game, rather than a direct felt experience. When someone becomes overly attached to being the spiritual seeker or the awakened one, they may forget that authenticity comes through embracing vulnerability and doubt. This over-attachment creates barriers in the crown, preventing the free movement of inspiration and universal energy. Similarly, constant spiritual striving can lead to a state of exhaustion, where the act of seeking becomes self-defeating. Recognizing these roots is key, because they shape how we relate to our spiritual selves and whether we feel open or closed to higher insights. Understanding these origins helps us see why imbalance in the crown chakra often feels like a disconnect from truth or inspiration. When burnout, dogma, and over-identification take hold, the natural flow of consciousness is blocked. The crown, which is meant to connect us to universal wisdom, can become a fortress or a heavy weight, instead of a bridge to higher awareness. The good news is, these roots are not fixed. With awareness, they can be gently loosened. Recognizing the signs, like mental fatigue, rigid beliefs, or attachment to spiritual roles, is the first step toward restoring balance and opening up again to genuine transcendence. Practicing grounding and gentle self-inquiry can help in identifying these origins in lived experience. When feeling drained or trapped in dogma, simply pausing for a moment to notice how beliefs or exhaustion are shaping your thoughts can provide clarity. Accepting that these patterns are part of a process, rather than personal flaws, allows space for healing to unfold. The key is to approach this journey with kindness and patience, understanding that undoing these imbalances takes consistent, gentle effort. By gradually loosening the grip of over-identification and dogma, the crown chakra can relax and reconnect to its natural flow of inspiration and openness. Somatic clues, head tension, posture, and breath patterns. Somatic clues like head tension, posture, and breath patterns provide valuable insights into your overall well-being and emotional state. These signals can reveal a lot about what's happening in your body and mind. For example, consistent head tension can indicate stress or anxiety, making it essential to pay attention to these physical sensations. Similarly, the way you carry your body speaks volumes about your inner landscape. Are your shoulders tense and hunched, or are they relaxed and open? Your physical posture can reflect your emotional posture towards life, showing how you navigate through your day-to-day experiences. Breath patterns are another key component. Shallow breathing often reveals unease, while deep, steady breaths can indicate calmness and grounding. By observing these bodily cues, you can deepen your embodied awareness and develop a greater understanding of your personal crown terrain. Practicing mindful observation of these somatic signals is an effective way to sense where you might feel imbalanced or open. For instance, take a moment each day to check in with your body. Notice if your head feels heavy or if you're holding tension in your jaw. Are you breathing rapidly or exceptionally slowly? These observations can guide you towards gentle, effective unblocking methods. If you notice that your breath is constricted, you could practice a few deep breaths to release that tension. Adjusting your posture by sitting up straight or stretching can shift your energy and mood. This kind of awareness isn't just about fixing issues. It's about nurturing an open dialogue with your body. When you regularly check in and listen, you can navigate through emotional ups and downs with more ease and clarity. Incorporating simple practices like these can connect you back to your body, fostering a positive relationship with yourself. Regular reflective moments can help you identify patterns that need attention and lead you to a more balanced state. The next time you find yourself feeling overwhelmed, consciously observe your body. Are you experiencing tightness in your chest or a headache that won't go away? These are signals worth acknowledging. Engaging in somatic awareness not only empowers you but can also become a daily ritual. You might use a few minutes of each day to tune into your breath and posture, allowing this practice to integrate naturally into your routine. Embrace this journey of self-discovery and healing through your somatic experiences, for they are profound tools on your path. Balancing crown energy for grounded spirituality. The crown chakra represents the highest point of spiritual awareness, often described as the gateway to universal consciousness or divine connection. It sits at the crown of the head, acting as the meeting place where the inner world of personal awareness meets the vast energy beyond the individual self. This energy is subtle and expansive, inviting a sense of unity and guidance from something greater than everyday reality. When active and balanced, crown energy allows us to experience moments of clarity, peace, and a deep feeling of interconnectedness, while still remaining aware of the physical world around us. Crown energy doesn't float detached from the body or daily life. Instead, it functions like a rope connecting sky and earth. This connection bridges the spiritual realms often symbolized by the ether or sky and the grounding energies flowing through the body and nervous system. In yogic understanding, this link is supported by the Sushumna nadi, the central energy channel that channels prana through all chakras, while the Ida and Pingala nadis bring balance through their weaving left and right current. The three Granthis are like energy knots, Brahma, Vishnu, and Rudra, that can block this flow, causing feelings of disconnection or overwhelm when crown energy is restless or overly open without support from the lower centers. Crown energy's natural state blends openness with stability. It calls for a steady foundation in the root and heart chakras, keeping us rooted in the body and compassion while allowing the higher mind to expand beyond its limits. The five Vyas, or life forces, Apana as the grounding downward force, Samana balancing digestion and integration, Prana moving energy upward, Udana supporting expression, and Vyana spreading vitality throughout the system. Each play a subtle role in supporting the crown chakra's healthy function. When these energies move in harmony, crown energy becomes a transparent space of light and presence, neither tangled nor closed off but connected to both the vast unknown and the present moment. Finding balance in crown energy involves nurturing two qualities: inner stillness and receptive openness. When the crown chakra feels unstable, experiences may shift between spiritual bypassing, escaping into abstract ideas or dissociation, and feeling isolated, as if cut off from everyday life. Restoring balance means drawing energy gently downward without blocking its flow, like the rope that holds steady even as it stretches toward the sky. Breathing practices that emphasize awareness of the body, such as slow, deep breathing through the nose, can anchor prana and calm the mind's tendency to race or fragment. Simple grounding movements can support this process by activating the downward flow of Apana Vayu, helping to root energy in the pelvis and legs. Walking barefoot on the earth, feeling the solidity beneath your feet, or bringing awareness to sensations in the hands and lower body helps direct life force away from being too scattered or overly absorbed in the upper chakras alone. Meditation focused on sensing the line of energy running from the root to the crown invites a subtle dialogue between sky and earth energies. Visualizing light gently flowing upward and returning softly downward allows the crown chakra to remain open but tethered, encouraging a presence that is both spacious and secure. Another useful approach includes engaging the heart center as a bridge between the crown and lower chakras. Compassionate self-inquiry and loving-kindness practices invite warmth and softness, tempering the intellectual or sometimes icy sensation that an overactive crown can bring. This helps prevent feelings of alienation from oneself and others. Using a tone of gentle curiosity rather than pushing for spiritual experiences opens the door to a lived, felt sense of connection. Trusting the body's messages and honoring boundaries between inward stillness and outward action creates a natural rhythm that supports balanced crown energy. Paying attention to subtle physical cues, or somatic tells, such as a tense scalp, shallow breathing, or head tilting, can signal tension or blockage at the crown. When these show up, targeted practices like guided mindfulness for the scalp area, neck stretches, or gentle head massage can ease stiffness and invite circulation. Slowly building awareness of these sensations makes it easier to release guardedness around spiritual energy and stay present with what is actually happening in the body-mind system. Ultimately, balancing crown energy is less about achieving a particular state or mystical experience and more about creating a supple connection between grounded presence and spiritual openness. It asks us to hold the paradox of being both small and vast, fully embodied and touched by something beyond ourselves. The more this balance settles in, the more spiritual life becomes a lived experience rooted in the here and now rather than an escape from it, supporting a fuller sense of belonging to life as it unfolds. A practical way to begin this process is to set aside a few moments each day to simply sit with your breath at the crown of your head, noticing sensations and allowing your awareness to invite both space and connection without forcing either one. This small practice encourages a gently balanced flow between receiving higher guidance and feeling firmly anchored in your body. Chapter 9. Inter-Chakra Dynamics, Movement and Resonance. Understanding chakra interactions and energy flow patterns. Chakras don't operate in isolation. Instead, they engage in a continuous dance of movement and vibration that forms a complex network of communication. When one chakra activates or shifts, its influence can ripple through neighboring centers, creating patterns of resonance or disruption. These patterns are often subtle, felt as slight changes in body sensation, emotion, or thought. Recognizing these movement signals helps us understand how energy flows and interacts within the inner system. The key lies in sensing these shifts as they happen, being aware of where tension, openness, or stagnation appears along the energetic pathways. Movement within the chakra system can take many forms: energetic, physical, or emotional. As energy shifts from one center to another, it often produces feelings like warmth, tingling, pulsation, or even a sense of expansion and contraction. These sensations mark the resonance patterns that connect chakras. For example, a blocked sacral chakra might manifest as stiffness or discomfort in the lower abdomen, while activation could bring a flow of movement and vitality. Paying attention to these movements can help us tune into the underlying communication, enabling us to sense where energy is flowing smoothly or hitched up in a knot. Understanding these movement signals requires cultivating a felt sense awareness, being present with what arises in the body without judgment. By practicing mindful observation of how energy shifts and resonates, we begin to recognize the patterns that form a natural language of the chakra system. Over time, this awareness allows us to perceive subtle cues indicating which chakras might need attention or balancing. It becomes an ongoing dialogue, revealing the invisible currents that influence how we feel, think, and act. Simply noticing these movement patterns offers a powerful way to start creating harmony within our energetic landscape. Resonance patterns function as the rhythm and tone through which chakras communicate. When energy in one chakra vibrates at a certain frequency, it can affect neighboring centers, causing them to respond in kind. Think of it like musical notes blending into chords. Each chakra has its own tone, and together, they create a unique harmony or discord. Recognizing these resonant sounds or feelings allows us to see how energy naturally moves and interacts within the system. If a particular pattern feels harmonious, it often indicates balanced flow. If it feels jagged or tense, it might suggest blockage or imbalance. By tuning into resonance patterns, we gain insight into the state of our energy flow. For example, if the heart chakra's resonance is disrupted, it might show up as difficulty trusting or forming connections, which can then affect the throat or solar plexus chakras. When we intentionally notice these patterns, we can guide our energy more consciously, using breath, visualization, or movement to reinforce positive resonances or calm turbulent ones. This process turns awareness into a tool for gentle regulation, allowing us to foster a sense of flow across energy centers rather than feeling stuck or overwhelmed. Deepening this awareness involves paying attention to micro-patterns, subtle shifts in breath, posture, or emotion that reveal how chakras influence each other. For example, a tight jaw might resonate with a blocked throat chakra, or shallow breathing could signal an unbalanced solar plexus. Recognizing these clues helps us identify where energy may need a nudge to move smoothly. Over time, becoming familiar with these resonance cues allows us to intervene more intentionally, fostering a natural rhythm that supports our overall well-being. Practicing regular mindful check-ins on these energy signals can turn the subtle into a clear language for guiding personal healing processes or simply maintaining a balanced energetic state. Compensation patterns: how chakras influence and protect each other. Chakras are not just points of energy, they are dynamic centers that influence how we experience life. Each chakra has a specific frequency and function, creating a unique resonance that affects our physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being. When these energy centers resonate in harmony, they interact seamlessly, allowing for a balanced flow of energy throughout the body. This orchestration of movement is akin to a symphony where each chakra contributes to the overall harmony. Understanding these interconnections helps us grasp how they influence each other during moments of stress or imbalance. The flow of energy from one chakra to another relies on the nadis, which are channels through which life force energy, or prana, moves. The three main nadis, Ida, Pingala, and Sushumna, play specific roles in emphasizing the dual nature of energies, namely intuitive and active forces. The energy within each chakra can affect its neighbors, creating a resonant web of influence that either supports or hinders our overall energy state. When one chakra is blocked or out of alignment, it can lead to compensatory changes in the adjacent chakras, as they strive to restore balance. This understanding forms the foundation for recognizing how chakras protect and influence each other. Compensation patterns among chakras often reveal themselves in times of stress or emotional upheaval. For instance, if the heart chakra feels overwhelmed due to grief, the solar plexus might react by tightening, leading to rigid control over emotions. This control is a form of protection, as the solar plexus seeks to shield the heart from additional pain. Similarly, when the throat chakra is suppressed because of fears of expression, the third eye may become more active, leading to an increase in intuitive insights as a way of compensating for the lack of external communication. Paying attention to thoughts and self-talk can also reveal which chakras may be compensating. A consistent narrative of self-doubt may indicate a throat chakra block, manifesting as a fear of being heard or seen. This recognition encourages a more integrated self-awareness, leading to healing practices that not only focus on the overactive chakra but also tend to the one that has become stalled. Engaging in this mindful inquiry can illuminate pathways toward a more harmonious inner experience and can be the first step toward restoring energetic balance. Somatic and felt sense indicators of inter-chakra dysregulation. The way our body physically senses energy moving or getting stuck between chakras often acts as a direct reflection of the subtle flow within our energy field. Somatic sensations like tension, warmth, numbness, or pressure are more than random feelings. They speak a language of inter-chakra resonance. When chakras harmonize in their movement, these sensations tend to be subtle and fluid. They might feel like gentle pulses, a soft expansion or contraction in the torso or limbs, or an ease that spreads quietly through the nervous system. This natural flow supports emotional clarity, intuitive balance, and a grounded presence. On the other hand, when there is an imbalance between chakras, the body often reveals this through a range of felt sense clues. These can show as sudden tightness across the chest, a hollow sensation near the solar plexus, a stuck heaviness in the gut, or even a sharp prickling along the spine. These somatic signals hint at where the energy isn't flowing freely, where certain chakras may be working against each other instead of moving in harmony. Sometimes you might notice that the sensation moves or shifts when you consciously breathe or direct your attention, providing clues to where the energy pathways may be tangled or blocked. Felt sense indicators can be subtle and layered, almost like a dimmer switch adjusting the light within your energetic system. A steady warmth might emerge between the heart and throat, signaling openness, while a sudden coldness between the root and sacral chakras may suggest disconnection or fear. Since chakras don't function in isolation but in relationship, the quality of sensation between them becomes a vital signpost. Developing an awareness of these sensations, and their shifts during meditation or movement practices, can guide your understanding of inter-chakra balance more deeply than conceptual knowledge alone. Specific patterns in the body often surface when chakras fall out of sync. For instance, a heavy tightness near the diaphragm may reveal tension between the solar plexus and the heart, reflecting struggles with willpower and emotional expression. Similarly, a persistent buzzing or tingling in the throat region alongside a dull ache near the crown can hint at blockages between the throat and third eye chakras, where communication and insight may feel stuck. These combined sensations are not random but reveal the energetic dialogue, or breakdown, happening between the centers. When such dysregulation is present, energy flow can become erratic, either overly charged in one chakra while another is depleted, or trapped in loops between 2 points along the channel. This imbalance sometimes shows in posture too, like uneven shoulders when the heart chakra resists opening or a rigid neck that controls throat expression. Breath can become shallow or irregular, especially when the downward flow of Apanavayu, the cleansing energy moving from the low chakras, is blocked, creating a sensation of trapped energy in the lower torso. These body-level symptoms reflect deeper energetic challenges and signal where awareness might be needed to restore balance. Longer-term felt sense patterns provide important information about the roots of chakra imbalances. A chronic tightness in the hips or lower back, for example, can tie back to constricted root and sacral chakras, showing how fear or attachment to fixed identity hampers natural movement of energy. In contrast, a lingering fogginess or tension in the area above the eyes often signals imbalance between the third eye and crown chakras, where mental chatter or spiritual overwhelm can cloud intuitive clarity. As these felt patterns accumulate, they shape how energy travels, or stalls, creating a map of where and how the chakras compensate for one another's blocks or excesses. Paying close attention to these somatic signs during quiet moments or in states of relaxation can reveal subtle changes in inter-chakra resonance that are easy to miss amidst everyday distractions. Practicing gentle inquiry with a curious intent, without trying to fix anything right away, helps bring these sensations into conscious awareness. This lays the groundwork for energy to find a new rhythm, and for your body to naturally support a healthier flow between chakras. A simple way to start is by noticing breath patterns and related feelings in your body center during meditation. This can highlight areas of resistance or energy collapse between specific chakras before the tension becomes overwhelming or expressed as physical pain. Techniques for harmonizing chakra interactions. Understanding how chakras interact is key to maintaining balanced energy flow across all centers. Each chakra doesn't operate in isolation. Instead, they influence one another through subtle shifts in movement and resonance. Techniques that focus on gentle awareness of these movements can help foster this harmony. For example, visualization methods allow you to imagine the energy smoothly passing from one chakra to another, encouraging a sense of rhythm in their interactions. Breath exercises can also reinforce the natural flow, helping each center to resonate at its optimal frequency while remaining in step with neighboring chakras. Developing sensitivity to how energy feels as it moves can reveal areas where blockages or overactivations occur, guiding you toward targeted actions for realignment. Practicing simple yet mindful movements, like slow circular breathing or gentle stretching focused on specific areas, can tune your awareness to subtle vibratory patterns. You might notice that certain chakras feel more active or dense, while others seem quieter or more spacious. Gaining a felt sense of these differences encourages a deeper connection with your energetic system. Techniques like chanting specific sounds or mantras aligned with each chakra can also enhance resonance, making it easier for these centers to communicate fluidly. Combining movement, breath, and sound creates a rhythmic synergy that naturally supports the harmonization of chakra interactions, turning energetic balance into a natural state rather than a goal to achieve. Paying close attention to your body and breath offers vital clues about when your chakra interactions are balanced or need adjustment. Notice how your posture, micro-movements, or breathing patterns change when you focus on different chakras. For example, a tight chest or shallow breathing might hint at overactivation in the heart chakra or blocked energy flow. Conversely, a feeling of openness or ease in the chest area can signal healthy interaction between this center and the neighboring ones. Certain sensations, like tingling, warmth, or lightness, often point to shifts in vibrational resonance, giving you feedback in real time. Learning to recognize these subtle cues allows you to guide your practice intuitively, making adjustments in your focus or technique as needed. Using simple tactile cues can also deepen awareness. Placing your hands gently over the area of interest while breathing deeply helps you feel the energy's movement or stagnation. For instance, if you notice unnecessary tension in your jaw or shoulders during meditation, it might suggest an imbalance between the throat and crown chakras. Regularly checking in with your body, especially after using specific techniques like visualization or breathwork, helps track progress. Tuning into these sensations helps you develop an intuitive sense of how your energetic system responds to different practices, making balancing exercises more personalized and effective. Over time, this heightened awareness gradually leads to smoother, more harmonious chakra interactions, as subtle shifts become commonplace in daily life. Chapter 10. Energy Circuitry, Connecting and Completing the Flow. Balancing the nadis and granthis for smooth energy flow. The concept of nadis, which can be understood as energy channels through which prana, life force, flows, forms the basis of many spiritual and healing practices. The three main nadis, Ida, Pingala, and Sushumna, play distinct roles. Ida, associated with lunar energy, flows on the left side of the body, while Pingala, linked to solar energy, flows on the right. Sushumna, the central channel, serves as a bridge between the two, allowing a balance of energies. This interplay is important as it reflects how energy circulates within us, impacting our physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being. When there's an imbalance in these nadis, it can lead to feelings of fatigue, anxiety, or even physical discomfort. The granthis, or knots, Brahma, Vishnu, and Rudra, further influence this energy flow. Brahma Granthi is linked to the root chakra, establishing our relationship with the material world. Vishnu Granthi, related to the heart chakra, ties into our emotions and love, while Rudra Granthi, associated with the throat chakra, resonates with our communication and self-expression. Each Granthi represents different areas where we can experience blockages or obstructions. When these knots are secure, they can keep energy from flowing freely, leading to stagnation. It becomes essential, therefore, to recognize how these components affect our overall vitality and spiritual evolution. The balanced flow of prana achieves a smoother energy circuit, enhancing clarity and emotional stability. A clearer understanding of how to maintain this balance empowers individuals on their journeys. Recognizing the flow of energy in our bodies and how nadis and granthis interact can lead to more grounded living, fostering connection between mind, body, and spirit. Recognizing when the nadis and granthis are imbalanced requires a practice of inner awareness. Noticing shifts in your feelings or physical sensations can signal the need for alignment. Simple breathwork techniques can help identify energy blocks. Focusing on your breath and observing where tension arises allows you to pinpoint what areas may require attention. For instance, when practicing deep breathing, if you feel constriction in your throat, it may indicate an issue with the Rudra Granthi that needs addressing. To harmonize these structures, a combination of physical movement, breathwork, and meditative practices can bring about significant changes. Engaging in yoga is an effective way to open the nadis. Poses like downward dog or bridge can help establish a more fluid energy flow. Pairing movement with breath, such as pranayama techniques, amplifies these effects, bringing awareness to your energy channels. Following your physical practice, sitting in silent meditation to visualize the light traveling through the nadis and dissolving knots can promote an even deeper sense of release and balance. Engaging in sound meditation or chanting can also help harmonize the granthis. Utilizing sound vibrations, like those from Tibetan singing bowls or the practice of chanting mantras, can resonate with these energy knots and facilitate their unblocking. Making these practices part of your routine provides an ongoing support system for maintaining balanced energy flow. The journey towards balance is not static, it's a continual process of learning and attuning to the body's signals. Regular self-check-ins help to adjust and refine your practice, fostering an even deeper connection with your energy bodies. Micro-practices to clear blockages in the circuit. Clearing blockages in the energetic circuit begins with simple, focused attention to the subtle sensations within the body. Starting with sensory awareness, you can gently turn your mind toward what is alive in the moment. Notice the texture of your skin, the temperature in your hands, or the rhythm of your breath. These small anchors invite your nervous system to relax and the energy to flow more freely. When you become curious about areas that feel tight, heavy, or numb, you create an opening for stuck energy to start loosening, without forcing or pushing. Breath calibration is another subtle but effective practice. Instead of deep or fast breathing, work with a calm, even breath, allowing the inhalation and exhalation to be balanced and mindful. This steadiness encourages a gentle reset of the nervous system and subtle realignment of energy pathways. Releasing tension in the body through soft movements or micro-movements can further support this process. A slight tilt of the head, a small shrug of the shoulders, or even a momentary shift in the spine can bring awareness to habitual holding patterns that interfere with flow. These micro-practices help create a space where blockages can start to dissolve naturally. The energy pathways, or nadis, respond well to this gentle invitation, much like loosening a kink in a stream. The Ida and Pingala nadis represent lunar and solar currents influencing the left and right sides of the body, while the Sushumna runs central. Unblocking these subtle channels often begins with body-centered attention to the smallest signs of tension or stillness. As you cultivate this sensitivity, notice how certain parts of your body may resist or shrink away from awareness. These areas often contain the three Granthis or energetic knots named Brahma, Vishnu, and Rudra. Each knot corresponds to deep emotional or physical blockages stored in different regions of the body. By gently turning your breath and attention into these spots, you can create subtle shifts that feel like untying a knot. This process is not about quick fixes but about welcoming whatever is present without judgment. The 5 Vyas, or energetic winds, Apana, Samana, Prana, Udana, and Vyana, move energy in specific directions and through various functions. Calm breath and sensory openness help these Vyas find their natural rhythm again, supporting energy's smooth circulation throughout your system. Once these micro-practices establish a foundation, you can add intentional movement to deepen the clearing. Small, deliberate motions such as gentle spinal twists, soft wrist circles, or slow head rolls invite energy to move beyond fresh openings in the circuit. Visualization can reinforce this process. Imagining light flowing through your spinal column or a warm golden current sweeping through a previously stagnant area helps the mind-body connection engage. Energetic anchoring strengthens this shift by holding a chosen sense, like warmth in the chest or openness in the throat, allowing you to carry the movement of energy into your daily reality. Rather than rushing or forcing, these techniques invite steady transformation by inviting energy to circulate where it was once hesitant. Through these advanced practices, you not only clear residual stagnation but also refine your perception of how energy moves in your body. Intentional movement trains your nervous system to recognize flow and release its grip on tension. Visualization acts as a bridge between conscious intention and unconscious patterns, bringing light to places usually hidden beneath the surface. Energetic anchoring ensures that these shifts don't remain fleeting sensations but become embodied states you can return to whenever blockages arise again. This layered approach, from subtle awareness to active engagement, supports the ongoing maintenance of a vibrant and responsive energy system, allowing you to navigate your inner currents with greater ease and grace. For anyone working to clear energetic blockages, tuning into your breath is a reliable and accessible tool. Simply pause several times a day to breathe in naturally for a count of 4, hold gently for 4, and exhale for a count of 4. Pay attention to how this breath ratio alters your mental state and body sensations. This small habit can quietly untangle tightness in the body and nervous system, offering a steady path to smoother energy flow without any special equipment or complicated rituals. Somatic tells of circuit disruption and restoration. When the body's energy flow becomes blocked or disrupted, it often reveals itself through subtle but noticeable somatic signals. These signals include changes in posture, tension in certain muscles, restricted breath patterns, or micro-movements that can hint at where energy isn't flowing smoothly. For example, a person may unconsciously shrug their shoulders when feeling overwhelmed or clench their jaw during stress, indicating a block in the energy pathways related to emotional processing. These physical cues serve as the body's way of signaling that the energetic circuit has become incomplete or congested. Recognizing these somatic tells helps us understand where energy is stagnating and guides us to focus our efforts on specific areas for gentle correction. Restoring the energy circuit relies on simple, tangible techniques that work directly with the body's natural systems. Gentle touch, mindful movement, and breathwork are all effective in re-establishing balance. For instance, soft rotations of the shoulders or slow, conscious breathing can help loosen tight muscles and free energy flow. Practices like self-massage, rocking motions, or gentle stretching are accessible ways to release tension trapped along specific pathways. These micro-adjustments don't require any complex tools or rituals but instead depend on slow, attentive movements that bring awareness into the body. The goal is to help the body's signals reset, allowing energy to flow freely once again, which in turn often creates a feeling of renewed vitality and calmness. Over time, as these practices become part of your routine, your body's awareness of its signals deepens. You start to notice subtle shifts, the softening of a clenched jaw, easier breathing, or a less guarded posture. These are signs that the energetic circuit is repairing itself. Alongside physical adjustments, mindful attention and gentle pauses in daily activity help reinforce the connection. When the body begins to feel more open and relaxed, it indicates that energy flow has been restored and the body is once again humming with vitality. Recognizing these somatic cues and responding with consistent gentle practices helps keep the energy pathways open and resilient, supporting overall well-being on a deep, visceral level. Advanced practices for circuit completion and energy integration. Establishing a consistent energy flow within the body is essential for spiritual development. To accomplish this, practitioners often focus on connecting different points along their energy pathways, known as nadis. The three primary nadis, Ida, Pingala, and Sushumna, play distinct roles in creating balance. Ida flows along the left side of the body, associated with feminine energy and calming properties. Pingala flows along the right and is linked to masculine energy and vitality. The central channel, Sushumna, is where spiritual awakening occurs. Techniques like deep breathing, mindfulness, and visualization can enhance awareness of these energy flows and contribute to a harmonious circulation of energy throughout the body. Practices such as Kundalini yoga or meditation can help activate these channels. Visualizing the flow of energy as a river can aid in releasing stagnant energy or blockages along the nadis. Engaging in practices that emphasize breath awareness can stimulate the Granthis, which are knots within the nadis that can obstruct energy movement. The three Granthis, Brahma, Vishnu, and Rudra, represent mental and emotional states that need to be transcended to allow for a stronger spiritual circuit. By focusing on untying these knots through mindful practices, individuals can encourage a more free-flowing energy system. To consolidate and stabilize the energy circuit, integrating daily practices is crucial. Being mindful of one's breath is foundational. This means taking the time to observe the quality of breath and allowing oneself to settle into deeper states of awareness. Techniques such as pranayama can be used to harness the life force and ensure that energy flow doesn't get disrupted. Adding grounding exercises, like standing or sitting in a comfortable position, while focusing on the root chakra can create a stable base for energy circulation. The connection to the earth can enhance one's sense of security and facilitate the upward movement of energy through the other chakras. Another practical method involves the use of sound vibrations. Chanting or using specific frequencies can create resonance that promotes alignment within the energy system. Sound can penetrate through blockages and help to realign the chakras. Exploring different types of mantras or sound meditations can contribute to a stable energy flow and encourage deepening spiritual awareness. Engaging with varied practices cultivates a fuller understanding and embodiment of the experiences within each chakra. The key is to trust the process and remain aware of the sensations that each practice elicits. Integrating these practices into your daily routine not only stabilizes the energy circuit but also enhances overall spiritual awareness. Pay attention to how different methods feel within your body. Notice if particular practices relieve your tension or if certain techniques create warmth or tingling sensations. This awareness is the heart of deepening your energy connection. As you progress, keep in mind that the journey is personal, and finding what resonates with you is paramount. Reflect regularly on your experiences, as this will assist in recognizing shifts in your energy patterns and help maintain equilibrium as you navigate your spiritual path. Chapter 11. Safety, Boundaries, and Grounding in Energy Work. Establishing safe practice boundaries with your energy body. When you begin to work consciously with your energy body, recognizing and protecting your energetic space becomes a fundamental step. Just as your physical body needs personal space to rest and recharge, your energy field also requires clear boundaries to maintain its integrity. Without these boundaries, your energy can become blurred or entangled with others, leading to feelings of exhaustion, overwhelm, or confusion about where you end and someone else begins. Establishing safe limits around your energy body is about creating a container that supports your well-being and allows your subtle systems, whether the nadis running like rivers of current or the Granthis acting as energetic knots, to flow without disruption. This is especially true when working with powerful forces such as the 5 Vyas, which govern the movement of energy within you. If your Apana-vayu, which governs elimination and letting go, is overwhelmed by outside energy, or if your Prana-vayu, responsible for intake and life force, is weakened by energy leaks, your overall balance suffers. Without clear boundaries, the natural rhythm of these vayas can be thrown off, just as the pulsations of your nadis, Ida, Pingala, and Sushumna, may become erratic. Protecting your energetic space means you preserve the vitality that supports your physical, emotional, and spiritual health, while keeping the subtle and often invisible currents in harmony. Part of this protection comes from understanding that your energy body is not an open doorway. It responds to intention and clarity much like any other form of communication. The three Granthis, Brahma, Vishnu, and Rudra knots, function like energetic gates or locks along your spine, holding certain closed until you consciously work through their blockages. These knots can act as checkpoints that prevent random or uninvited energies from moving freely within your subtle anatomy. When boundaries are respected, these knots remain balanced, supporting a steady flow of energy rather than chaotic flux. Holding space for your energy body allows you to feel safer as you explore deeper levels of awareness. Creating clear energetic boundaries begins with intention, deciding where your energy begins and ends and committing to protect that space. One effective way to establish boundaries is through simple yet focused visualization techniques. Imagine a gentle, glowing aura around you acting like a shield, transparent yet strong, that lets through light and positive energy but gently deflects anything that feels draining or invasive. Cultivating this felt sense of a protective field helps you maintain awareness of where your energy stops, especially when in crowded or emotionally charged environments. Communication is just as vital in protecting your energetic body. This does not only refer to verbal boundaries with others but also the messages you send yourself. Pay attention to the language you use about your limits, such as "I invite healing energy, but I do not absorb stress from others," or "my energy serves me first." When you say these affirmations internally or aloud, you not only assert your boundaries but create energetic signatures that your body recognizes. Practicing these statements regularly can help train your system to stay grounded and less porous. Maintaining these boundaries requires consistent attention and self-awareness. Developing small habits, like taking mindful breaths focused on your apana or vyana vyas, helps to reinforce the sense of containment. These vyas manage energy movement and elimination, so when you consciously tend to their flow, breathing into your lower abdomen or gently rocking your spine, you support clearing any energy that doesn't belong. If you begin feeling tired or scattered, it may be a signal to re-establish these boundaries, resetting your energetic perimeter with intention and presence. Boundaries also invite you to recognize when you are overextending your own energy or taking on more than feels comfortable, offering a gentle reminder to step back and recharge before moving forward again. It's helpful to think of boundary setting as an ongoing conversation between your energy body and the world around you, not a one-time event. As your awareness grows, you may sense more subtle shifts in your field and adapt your boundaries accordingly. This adaptive quality honors the natural flow and balance of life without losing your sense of personal sovereignty. Staying in tune with your energy signals, whether through body sensations, emotions, or shifts in mental clarity, creates a personalized roadmap for maintaining your energetic safety and resilience. One practical tip to refresh your energetic boundaries involves grounding rituals at the end of your day or energetic work session. This might include simple movements like gently pressing your feet into the ground, placing your hands on your thighs, or even visualizing roots growing from your root chakra deep into the earth. These actions help anchor your energy, preventing it from drifting or remaining vulnerable to outside influences. Regularly practicing these grounding rituals can strengthen your natural energetic boundaries and nurture a deep sense of calm and stability within your whole being. Recognizing overwhelm and protective patterns. Noticing when you're overwhelmed often begins with tuning into your body and energy signals. You might feel tension in your shoulders, a racing heartbeat, shallow or rapid breathing, or a feeling of tightness in your chest. Sometimes, your thoughts race or become repetitive, making it hard to focus or stay present. These signs act as early warnings that your inner system is straining and that protective patterns may be kicking in to keep you safe from perceived threats. Protective patterns are tendencies that develop over time to shield you from emotional pain, rejection, or chaos. These can show up as habits like withdrawing from others, overworking to distract yourself, or people-pleasing to gain acceptance. Physically, you might notice a tendency to tighten your jaw, cross your arms defensively, or hold your breath when feeling vulnerable. Recognizing these cues in your body and thoughts can open the door to understanding how you naturally respond when feeling pushed to your limits. Another key is to observe how your energy shifts in different situations. Do you feel drained after certain interactions or activities? Are there specific triggers that cause a sudden surge of anxiety or the urge to shut down? These responses aren't random. They reveal your habitual ways of coping with overwhelm. By staying aware of these signals, you start to identify patterns that keep you stuck in a cycle of overreach and safety seeking, which is a vital step toward true awareness and healing. Understanding these signs helps you develop clarity about your inner landscape. When you notice your breathing becoming shallow or your body stiffening, remind yourself that these are natural signals guiding you to pause. This moment of awareness offers space to choose a different response rather than falling into automatic protective routines. Recognizing your vulnerabilities is not about judging yourself, but about cultivating compassion for the ways your system seeks safety. Identifying when you are in a protective pattern requires honesty and patience. For example, if you catch yourself saying yes when you really want to say no, or if you avoid certain situations altogether, these can be signs your system is trying to protect you from feeling overwhelmed. Sometimes, these patterns are so ingrained that they feel automatic, making it essential to create a gentle awareness practice to observe without judgment. Over time, this awareness becomes a foundation for more conscious choices and healthier boundaries. Practicing simple check-ins can make a significant difference. Whenever you notice a shift in your body or mind, pause and ask yourself what you need right now. Is it to breathe deeply? To stretch? To speak your truth? These small moments of mindfulness can interrupt automatic protective patterns and allow you to act from a more centered place. Recognizing and understanding how overwhelm manifests helps you develop a more compassionate relationship with yourself, turning defensive habits into opportunities for growth and awareness. Remember, these signals are helpful guides. Your body and mind are trying to communicate what's happening beneath the surface. When you respond to those signals consciously, you create a space where overwhelm loses its power to control you. This awareness is not about fixing yourself, but about becoming familiar with your natural responses. With patience, you learn to read your unique signs of overwhelm and to gently shift toward a calmer, more grounded state. One practical tip is to develop a simple ritual of checking in with your body during the day. For example, setting an alarm every hour as a reminder to pause, take a few deep breaths, and notice what you're feeling. Over time, this practice makes it easier to catch the early signs of overwhelm and to take action before your protective patterns fully take over. Recognizing these signals is the first step toward more intentional energy management and maintaining your sense of safety within. Somatic and felt sense indicators of safety or risk. When we begin to tune into our bodies, we start to notice specific indicators that speak volumes about our sense of safety. Relaxed limbs often signal a state of ease, where our body is free from tension and anxiety. A steady breath, flowing in and out without interruption, provides further assurance that we are grounded in the present moment, feeling secure in our surroundings. Open posture is another clear sign. It reflects a willingness to engage with the world and an implicit comfort with our environment. Each of these bodily cues serves as a reminder of our internal state, allowing us to navigate our emotional landscape more effectively. Beyond relaxation, the sensation of warmth spreading through our body communicates a sense of security. This warmth often starts in our core and radiates outwards, filling us with a comforting glow. The way we sit or stand also reveals our current emotional state. Sitting upright with an expansive chest can signify confidence, while leaning in slightly may indicate curiosity, openness, or connection. By cultivating an awareness of these physical sensations, we can help reinforce feelings of safety and stability, not only for ourselves but also in the interactions we share with others. Just as the body gives us signals of safety, it also communicates when something feels off or unsafe. Tension often creeps into our muscles when we are under threat or facing stress. This tension can manifest as tightness in the shoulders, clenching of the jaw, or a knot in the stomach. Shallow breathing is another red flag. It indicates that we are in a state of fight or flight, unable to access our full breath and, consequently, our full sense of calm. A closed posture, such as crossed arms or hunched shoulders, can further suggest a desire to withdraw from a situation or protect oneself from perceived danger. Understanding these signals is crucial for maintaining safe energy practices. Recognizing when our body is signaling discomfort can empower us to make choices that promote our well-being. For instance, choosing to step back from a conversation that feels overwhelming, or taking a moment to breathe deeply when we notice ourselves tensing up. By paying attention to these cues, we create opportunities to respond rather than react, fostering an environment where we can feel secure and supported. This awareness helps us not only trust our own bodies but also assists in cultivating healthier interactions with those around us. A simple practice to increase your awareness of these body signals is to set aside a few moments each day to check in with yourself. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and ask yourself how your body feels. Where do you sense tension? Is your breath deep and steady, or is it quick and shallow? Reflect on your posture from head to toe and notice any areas that feel tight or relaxed. This practice can deepen your connection to both your felt sense of safety and risk, guiding you toward better self-regulation and emotional resilience. Grounding techniques to reinforce energy stability. Feeling stable in your energy starts with tuning into your body's subtle cues. When you pay attention to sensations like your breath, heartbeat, or the way your feet touch the ground, you create a natural anchor that keeps your energy steady. This mindful awareness is more than just noticing. It's about feeling connected to your physical self in the present moment. By gently observing where tension lives, where the breath moves freely or feels stuck, you build a foundation beneath your energetic flow. The body holds signals that reveal if your energy is scattered or focused, so learning to read these signs invites a calm steadiness that becomes the root of your practice. As you start feeling more settled inside, it becomes easier to navigate emotional waves and external distractions without losing your center. Setting boundaries is a cornerstone of energetic safety. When you establish clear limits with others and yourself, it protects your energy field from unnecessary depletion or overwhelm. These boundaries aren't just physical, they extend to emotional and energetic realms. Physically, it's about creating space that feels safe, like grounding your feet firmly or imagining a protective shield around you. Emotionally, it means recognizing when you are taking on feelings that don't belong to you and gently redirecting your focus back to your inner experience. Energetic grounding involves simple actions such as breathing deeply down into your belly or visualizing roots growing from your base into the earth. Through these methods, you carve out a space where your energy can breathe freely without being pulled in all directions, giving you a sense of calm control. Anchoring yourself to the body's felt sense establishes a clear connection between your inner energy and outer presence. When energetic storms arise, grounding serves as both an anchor and a compass, bringing you back from drifting to a place of balance. You might notice small signs like a softening of the jaw, a steady rhythm in your breathing, or the warm contact of your hands on your lap. Each signal is a gentle checkpoint that confirms you are rooted in your own experience, aware yet relaxed. When you feel disconnected, simple practices such as feeling the weight of your body in your chair or focusing on the sensations of your skin help pull your energy back from abstraction into the tangible now. This ongoing practice strengthens your energetic system's resilience and prevents overwhelm from taking hold. In order to remain centered, embracing physical actions that ground your energy is highly effective. Walking barefoot on natural surfaces connects you directly with the Earth's energy, providing a steadying influence on your subtle body. You can also use movement practices like gentle stretching or slow yoga to bring awareness back to your muscles and joints, encouraging energy to flow without blockages. These physical activities become a form of energetic drainage, clearing excess tension and inviting balance. Emotional grounding requires honoring your feelings without judgment and setting protective limits with compassionate firmness. Energetically, forming imaginary roots growing deep and wide helps dissipate excess energy and create a protective boundary that feels secure but flexible. Combining these methods helps maintain a harmonious flow that sustains your energetic well-being in the midst of daily demands. Grounding is a practice that can be refined by gently returning to your natural rhythms, the rise and fall of your breath, the slow pulse of your heart, and the steady sensation of your feet on the floor. When you notice breath becoming shallow or rapid, or tension creeping into your shoulders, it's a signal your energy is rising too high or scattering. Bringing your awareness back to your body's center, like your lower belly or the soles of your feet, fosters a calming return that steadies your system. This felt sense awareness acts like an internal barometer, letting you tune into your energetic climate and adjust accordingly. The more you listen, the easier it gets to make small course corrections before stress or uncertainty takes over. Chapter 12. Advanced energy techniques, micro to macro practices. Micro practices for immediate energy rebalancing. Sometimes, all it takes is a few simple breaths or tiny movements to shift how we feel. When energy feels off or draining, grounding yourself with awareness of your breath can bring quick relief. Focus on taking slow, deep inhales through your nose, then gently exhale. Feel the expansion in your chest and the coolness of the air entering. Then notice how your body relaxes just a little more with each breath. Pairing breath awareness with gentle movements, like rolling your shoulders or stretching your neck, can loosen tense areas and restore a sense of flow. Even standing still and feeling your feet root into the ground anchors your energy, helping you regain balance in an instant. Beyond breath and movement, quick grounding exercises work well for immediate rebalancing. For example, pressing your feet into the floor intentionally or pressing your hands against a sturdy surface can help send feedback signals to your nervous system, bringing you back into the present moment. Tuning into your 5 senses, noticing what you see, hear, feel, smell, and taste, can quickly divert your mind from stress or anxiety. These small, deliberate practices create a ripple effect, calming the nervous system and restoring a sense of centeredness. When energy feels scattered or overextended, dedicating a minute to these micro practices can make a noticeable difference. For those ready to go a step further, gentle jumping jacks, a quick walk around the space, or slight body shakes can clear residual tension. These movements get the blood flowing and shake loose stagnant energy, which may have built up during periods of mental or emotional stress. Pausing to place your hands on your belly or chest during these movements enhances connection with your inner energy. Use your awareness to notice any shifts, breathe into areas that feel tight or heavy, and breathe out tension. These mini routines require very little time but offer powerful support for a swift energy reset at any moment of need. Moving into more refined techniques, advanced micro practices include quick visualization. Visualize a bright light flowing into your head or heart, filling you with peaceful energy. Imagine this light dissolving fatigue or emotional blocks as it moves through your energy fields. Another technique involves subtle energy pulls, lightly guiding energy with your hands or intention from areas of excess or depletion toward each other. For instance, gently pulling energy from your crown to your belly or from your hands toward your heart can rebalance your overall system. Micromeditations, such as bringing your focus to a single point in your body or visual field for a few breaths, can help target specific areas that feel out of sync. These short but precise mental exercises recalibrate energy swiftly and deeply. Practicing these techniques regularly trains your ability to respond instantly to energetic shifts. With target practice, like focusing on your solar plexus or the center of your forehead, you can develop a finely tuned awareness of subtle energy movements. When practiced consistently, these micro methods grow more intuitive, becoming tools you can access on the fly, whether you're at work, in transit, or simply feeling overwhelmed. The key is to stay attentive to your felt sense, noticing what feels heavy or open, and to approach each practice with gentle curiosity. Over time, you'll find yourself able to steer your energy from imbalance to equilibrium with simple, quick shifts that fit into any moment of your day. Layered techniques for deep clearing and activation. Clearing stagnant energy is essential for maintaining a healthy and vibrant energetic body. One of the most effective techniques involves identifying and integrating multiple layers of practice. Begin by tuning into your own body and noticing where you feel tension or heaviness. This can be as simple as taking a few deep breaths and allowing your awareness to settle on any areas that feel different or blocked. Once you have identified these areas, you can start to explore practices that resonate with those sensations. For example, if you feel stuck energy in your chest, you might incorporate breathwork or heart-opening yoga postures. The key is to approach this process without judgment, allowing yourself to truly feel without trying to force a change. Another helpful technique is visualization. Imagine layers of your energy field like the rings of a tree, each layer representing an aspect of your life or experience. As you visualize each ring, ask yourself what needs to be cleared or activated within that layer. You might find that some layers are thicker and more dense, while others feel lighter and more fluid. This can reveal the emotional or physical issues that need your attention. Once you've identified these layers, you can follow up with corresponding energetic practices, such as sound healing, essential oils, or specific affirmations, which can help clear the blocks and support transformation. Sequencing your energy practices is crucial for achieving a balance between activation and internal release. Consider breaking down your practices into smaller micro-techniques that can easily be customized to fit your needs. For instance, if you're working on your root chakra, you might start with grounding exercises like walking barefoot on grass, followed by a mantra that resonates with safety and security. Creating a personal ritual around these practices can also enhance their effectiveness. Choose specific days for practices that align with the intentions you set, such as focusing on clarity during a full moon and introspection during a new moon. Incorporating macro techniques wisely means looking at your overall energetic patterns and understanding the cycles of your body. As you engage with micro practices daily, set aside dedicated time for deeper work, such as guided meditations or longer yoga sessions that target multiple energy centers. Recognizing how these micro and macro practices interact supports a more holistic approach. After a micro session, take a moment to journal or reflect on your experience. This simple integration creates space for insights that can guide your future practices, ensuring you're always in tune with what your body and spirit need. Be mindful of the pace at which you progress through these techniques. Listen to your body, adjusting the intensity of your practices as necessary. When you honor both the subtle and the profound aspects of this work, you support a natural flow of energy that allows for deeper healing and activation. Working with Granthi and Vyas for advanced flow. When working with subtle energy flow, understanding the relationship between Granthi and Vyas offers a powerful gateway into advanced energetic practices. Granthi, often described as energetic knots, serve as key focal points in the flow of prana along the subtle channels known as nadis. These knots represent blockages or binding points in the system and correspond to distinct energetic functions and psychological patterns. The three main Granthis, Brahma, Vishnu, and Rudra, are traditionally positioned along the central channel, Sushumna, intersecting with the Ida and Pingala nadis. Each Granthi holds a particular influence. Brahma relates to creation and the root energies, Vishnu governs balance and transformation often linked to the heart, and Rudra connects to liberation and higher consciousness near the head. Navigating these energetic knots requires a delicate awareness of the subtle flow patterns that weave through them. Alongside Granthis, the five Vyas, or winds, act as carriers of prana, directing vital energy in specific patterns throughout the body. These Vyas are Apana, Samana, Prana, Udana, and Vyana, each with its own unique moving quality and territory within the energetic landscape. Apana governs downward release, clearing what no longer serves, while Samana works to digest and transform energy in the midsection. Prana manages the intake and expansion of energy, often experienced through breath and heart rhythms. Udana rises upward, supporting expression and communication, and Vyana spreads energy throughout the body, integrating all other Vyas in movement and circulation. Together, Granthis and Vyas compose an intricate dance of contraction and expansion, blockage and flow that forms the foundation for advanced pranayama and meditation practices. Paying attention to how these energies interact can reveal subtle energetic patterns often hidden beneath gross awareness. To engage with Granthis and Vyas effectively, the practice moves from subtle recognition to direct energetic interaction. Starting with micro-movements, practitioners may begin by observing breath and subtle sensations around the known locations of each Granthi. Gentle breathwork focused on awareness rather than force helps identify where contraction or resistance emerges. For instance, the Brahma Granthi, located near the root chakra, often feels dense or heavy if the energy is stuck. Using slow, intentional breaths that direct attention inward can encourage the Apana Vayu to soften and release this knot. Similarly, tuning into the heart region while practicing smooth, steady inhalations can encourage the Samana Vayu to bring balance through the Vishnu Granthi. These micro-practices help build a felt sense of the Vyas in motion and begin to unknot the binding energy gently. Moving from micro to macro, more coordinated breath and movement exercises can support deeper integration and harmonization of Granthi and Vayu activity. One effective approach involves working with breath ratios that correspond to the flow characteristics of specific Vyas. For example, emphasizing a longer exhale may engage Apana to clear blockage, while a sustained breath hold at the peak of inhalation supports the stabilizing influence of Samana. Combining these breath techniques with subtle spinal movements or focused visualization towards the granular locations of the Granthis can enhance sensitivity to their opening and closing. Over time, practitioners often notice a palpable shift, the energy feels more fluid, the body lighter, and mental clarity sharper. These shifts do not necessarily happen suddenly but unfold gradually, deepening one's connection with energetic rhythm. It helps to maintain a gentle curiosity and patience during this process, especially when encountering resistance or unexpected sensations. The Granthis are not mere obstacles to bypass but integral components holding layers of personal and universal energy patterns. Working with the Vyas alongside them invites a more compassionate and embodied relationship with these patterns. Regular practice, mindful observation, and gentle guidance from breath and movement can gradually lead to the untying of these knots, allowing prana to flow freely through the nadis. This interplay expands one's capacity to hold and direct energy consciously, elevating simple breathwork into an advanced energetic art. A practical tip for tuning into the Granthis and Vyas is to dedicate a few minutes each day to simply sit with awareness on these points. Begin by placing your attention softly at the base of the spine, noticing any sensations around the Brahma Granthi. Breathe naturally and invite the Apana Vayu to do its downward cleansing without forcing anything. Gradually shift awareness upward to the heart, tuning into the movement of Samana Vayu through the Vishnu Granthi. Then bring focus gently to the throat and head area, sensing the interplay of Udana with the Rudra Granthi. Allow your breath and awareness to be a bridge that moves energy through these points. This simple but attentive practice builds a foundation that supports deeper flow and balance over time. Creating personal rituals for ongoing energy mastery. Thinking about practical ways to create routines that truly stick involves simplicity and adaptability. Start small. Something as simple as a few deep breaths in the morning or a quick stretch to reconnect with your body can set the tone for the day. As you notice what works, adjust your routines to fit your daily life naturally. Maybe you find that journaling your energy shifts helps you notice patterns, or that a short meditation before bed helps settle your mind. The key is to keep your rituals flexible so they evolve with your needs, rather than feeling like chore-like tasks. When these practices become part of your rhythm, they are more likely to support steady energy flow and vibrant well-being over time. When making practice adjustments, pay attention to how your body responds. You might find that certain times of the day or specific environments make it easier to connect deeply with your energy. For some, early mornings work best. For others, a midday pause can recharge the system. Experiment with different techniques, like gentle movement, breath awareness, or visualization, and see what feels most authentic. As your awareness grows, these rituals can adapt and deepen, offering new layers of connection. A useful tip is to keep a simple journal where you note what rituals you do, how they feel, and any shifts you notice. Over time, this helps refine your routines so they stay aligned with your ongoing energy needs and personal growth. By embracing these small, adaptable rituals, you create a foundation for sustained energy mastery that can grow stronger with you. The key is to keep the practice rooted in genuine connection and simplicity. When you align your routines with your natural rhythms, energy flows more freely, and your capacity for resilience increases. Whether it's a short breathing ritual, a moment of gratitude, or a quick stretch, these small acts support a larger flow of vitality. Make it a point to check in with yourself regularly, adjust what isn't serving you, and celebrate the shifts that bring more freshness and clarity into your daily life. Over time, these personalized rituals become trusted guides, helping you stay grounded while expanding your energetic capacity. Chapter 13. Troubleshooting Common Block Patterns and Granthi Ties. Identifying persistent block patterns and their root causes. These blocks can manifest in various areas of life, leading to repeated challenges or difficulties in personal growth. For instance, someone might feel trapped in a cycle of insecurity or fear, which often traces back to childhood experiences or societal conditioning. Recognizing these patterns is the first step towards liberation, as they often keep individuals from realizing their full potential. Many individuals are unaware of the energetic limitations imposed by these block patterns. Emotional traumas can create deep-rooted fears that prevent meaningful connections, while outdated belief systems can shape thoughts that hinder progress. Physiological habits, such as tense posture or shallow breathing, can further reinforce these blocks by dampening the flow of energy. This restriction within the energy centers can lead to physical symptoms, emotional stress, and spiritual stagnation, creating a loop of ongoing struggle in daily life. Reflecting on one's past can reveal connections between childhood experiences and current emotional responses. Journaling can be an excellent tool for this exploration. Writing freely about past traumas and noticing any patterns or triggers in thoughts can illuminate pathways to understanding deeper issues. Pay attention to recurring themes that emerge in your writing. These may point to the origin of blockages. Additionally, tuning into somatic sensations can provide valuable insights into where blocks reside in the body. Noticing how certain emotions feel physically can guide individuals to areas that require healing. For instance, tension in the shoulders might indicate carrying the weight of unresolved burdens, while discomfort in the stomach could relate to feelings of anxiety or fear. Exploring the connection between emotions and physical sensations creates a holistic approach, addressing both mental and physical aspects of block patterns. In order to further understand these dynamics, consider the importance of habitual thought patterns. Often, self-talk can be steeped in negativity or doubt, repeating phrases that weaken one's sense of self. These patterns can be traced back to societal influences or personal experiences. Challenging these thoughts is key. Asking whether these beliefs are truly representative of your worth can initiate a shift. By reframing limiting beliefs and replacing them with affirmations of strength and capability, individuals can begin the journey toward untangling the blocks. Being aware of one's energetic flow and listening deeply to the body can pave the way toward healing. Techniques like meditation or breathwork can help in this journey. When individuals dedicate time to center themselves, they may begin to feel where energy is stuck or flowing freely. Learning to navigate these inner landscapes can enhance self-awareness and bolster the body's natural healing processes. Noticing the shifts that occur when energy is allowed to flow can inspire confidence in personal growth. By consistently engaging with these practices, individuals can identify block patterns and their origins. This process is not always linear and might require time and patience. It's essential to be gentle with oneself throughout this exploration, allowing the revelations to unfold naturally. Each insight gathered along the way can contribute to the overarching picture of personal development and spiritual awakening. As a practical tip, try setting aside a specific time each week to engage in reflective practices. Whether it's journaling, meditation, or simply sitting quietly with your thoughts, this dedicated space can help bring to light the emotional and energetic blockages that may reside within. Consistently returning to this practice creates a rhythm that encourages growth and healing over time. Granthi knot release methods, manual and intuitive approaches. Granthi knots are often described as energetic blockages within the subtle body, located along the central channel known as the Sushumna nadi, which runs alongside two other main channels, Ida and Pingala. These knots are traditionally called the Brahma, Vishnu, and Rudra Granthis, each representing different layers of energetic restriction tied to concepts of creation, preservation, and destruction. The Granthis can be thought of as points where energy is held tightly, preventing free flow through the subtle body's channels and affecting the movement of prana, or life force. The five Vyas, prana, apana, samana, udana, and vyana, govern how this energy circulates, and when a Granthi knot tightens, this dynamic balance disrupts, leading to sensations of heaviness, emotional blockages, or even physical stiffness in associated areas. Addressing these knots with a tactile, hands-on approach that blends manual adjustments with intuitive sensing helps dissolve resistance and restore fluidity without getting lost in theoretical complexity. Physically releasing Granthi knots involves a combination of touching, breathing, and mindful awareness that respects the subtle nature of the energy. Manual methods typically focus on gentle, precise movements that open the areas around the knot without forcing or straining. These can include light pressure applied along the spine or related nerve paths, paired with slow, conscious breath to stimulate relaxation in the tissues and the energy surrounding them. The practitioner tunes in closely to the subtle shifts, what feels looser or tighter, cooler or warmer, heavier or lighter. Coupling this with intuitive cues allows for a more responsive, organic unfolding. Sometimes the release isn't a dramatic clearing but a subtle softening felt deep inside, like energy loosening a grip rather than breaking a chain. This approach honors how Granthi knots can hold emotional or psychological weight as much as physical tension. In practical terms, the process begins by sitting comfortably and bringing attention to the area around the heart, throat, or root points where Granthis tend to form. Using fingertips or the palm, gentle circular or sweeping motions are made with sensitivity, noticing if the touch invites a feeling of spaciousness or triggers resistance. Breath plays a guiding role here. Slow, even inhalations and exhalations help the nervous system relax and encourage the body's natural ability to release. Listening to bodily messages, such as slight shifts in posture, changes in breath depth, or waves of warmth or coolness, allows fine-tuning of the touch and focus. Sometimes, a Granthi knot may respond best to micro-movements, subtle adjustments in hand pressure, or even pauses that let the body integrate what is happening. This interaction between manual technique and intuition turns knot release into a dialogue rather than a fixed procedure, offering a more effective path that suits each individual's unique energetic pattern. As you settle into the practice, differentiating between physical tightness and energetic block begins to take shape. A Granthi knot is not always a hard physical knot to untangle, but often a blend of sensation, emotion, and historic tension layered within the tissues. The challenge and skill lie in noticing the fine distinctions, like a subtle pull in the mid-spine versus a broader sensation of contraction around the chest or pelvic area. Allowing time for these nuances to emerge fosters a clearer inner map of what requires release. This also means trusting your own felt sense over any rigid instructions, making adjustments along the way to maintain comfort and avoid pushing against resistance. Safety comes from this attentive, gradual approach, respecting boundaries and nurturing the layers interconnected in each Granthi knot. One way to work with these knots intuitively involves short periods of stillness interspersed with touch. After applying gentle pressure or breathing into the area, pause and listen inwardly to shifts in sensation or emotional tone. Sometimes Granthi knots open in phases, marked by faint pulses, warmth, or a sense of movement under the hands. Other times, release manifests as a quiet settling, like tension gently melting into ease. Remaining patient and curious about these subtle signals prevents premature or aggressive attempts at unblocking, which might re-traumatize or deepen the knot. The process is much like tuning an instrument. Small, responsive adjustments lead to harmony rather than forcing discordant sounds. Keeping a practice journal can be valuable when working with Granthi knots. Recording impressions of what feels tight and how it changes with different breath patterns or touch techniques sharpens discernment over time. Noting emotional states that surface or body language shifts adds layers of insight, offering clues beyond the surface experience. As with all energetic work, consistent, gentle attention builds a foundation of trust between the practitioner and their subtle body. Eventually, recognizing Granthis becomes less a mental exercise and more a felt knowing, a subtle skill that guides manual and intuitive practices alike toward lasting relief and expanded flow of energy. When attempting manual release on your own, patience is key. Start with brief sessions, focusing on comfortable areas before progressing deeper. Use breath to soften muscles and tissues, pairing sustained gentle touch with natural pauses to encourage the unfolding of tension. If discomfort arises, back off or shift focus to another Granthi location. Over time, the interplay between breath, touch, and attentive awareness will reveal distinct sensations. These offer a map for where and how to continue. Keeping a soft curiosity about the experience rather than seeking immediate results fosters a supportive environment for the subtle body to open on its own terms. Somatic and felt sense strategies for deep clearing. Moving through the body with awareness is a powerful way to release stored tension and subconscious blocks. Techniques like body scanning encourage a gentle search through the physical self, noticing where tightness, heat, tingling, or numbness reside. Begin by taking slow, deliberate breaths, and then scan from your head down to your toes, paying attention to subtle sensations. You might notice areas where you hold more tension or feelings of discomfort that seem to hold emotional weight. These spots are often linked to deeper memories or unresolved feelings. By gently bringing attention to these tissues and muscles, you create space for the body's innate wisdom to start releasing what no longer serves you. Breath awareness is another vital tool. Focusing on the breath connects you directly to the present moment while relaxing the nervous system. As you breathe, observe how the body naturally responds, expanding, anchoring, softening. Deep, slow inhales and exhales can help dissolve energetic blockages that are held within the tissues or the nervous system. Micromovements, tiny shifts of muscles or joints, can activate dormant pathways for energy flow. For instance, small shoulder rolls or jaw releases tap into these subtle areas, encouraging the body to unwind stored tension gradually. These micromovements aren't about force but about coaxing your body to open and soften, revealing the layers beneath conscious awareness and easing deep-seated feelings trapped in musculature or tissue. Utilizing felt sense awareness takes your practice further. It's about tuning into a vague, often indistinct but embodied sense of how something feels in your whole body or a particular region. Instead of trying to identify specific emotions or thoughts, notice the quality of the sensation, its weight, temperature, texture, or movement. Guided visualizations can help bring clarity here. Imagine a soft light penetrating deep into the tissues, or visualize a gentle flow of energy dissolving a knot. Use phrases like "it feels heavy," "it's tingling," or "its tightness wrapped around." When you identify these subtle sensations without judgment, you begin to converse with your inner landscape. Releasing deeply embedded blockages often starts with recognizing the felt sense, giving space for transformation to occur naturally. As you work with sensation and movement, it's helpful to remember that tensions or knots in your body often have their origins in early life experiences, trauma, or habitual postures. Paying close attention to where sensations are strongest or recurring can guide your attention. For example, tightness in the chest might relate to suppressed feelings of vulnerability, while a clenched jaw may be connected to holding back frustration or anger. When you notice a pattern, gently direct your awareness there, without forcing change. Instead, invite a sense of curiosity. What would it be like if I allowed this tension to soften? This approach fosters gentle, consistent contact, encouraging your body to gradually unwind stored energy. For practical application, try setting aside a few minutes daily to scan, breathe, and tune into your felt sense. Use slow, intentional movements and allow your attention to drift with the sensations you experience. Over time, this creates a deeper rapport with your body, turning it into a trusted partner in your growth. Remember that tissues remember everything, and your gentle presence can gradually unearth layers of stored emotions, old beliefs, and unprocessed trauma. Sometimes, simply acknowledging what is felt without trying to change it can cause a shift, like giving permission for your body to release what has been held in silence for years. Best practices for maintaining balance during challenging shifts. Maintaining balance during challenging shifts requires a strong foundation of mindful awareness and gentle presence. Being aware of your thoughts and emotions allows you to stay centered, even when external circumstances feel overwhelming. Breathing deeply is a fundamental practice here. Focusing on your breath helps ground you. When you sense tension building, take a moment to inhale slowly, feeling your chest expand. Then, exhale gently, letting go of any stress and returning to the present moment. This simple practice can create a pause, offering clarity amid chaos. Alongside breath awareness, somatic focus plays a vital role in staying grounded. Tune into the sensations within your body, noticing any areas of tightness or discomfort. Send your breath into these areas, visualizing them softening. This approach not only fosters relaxation but also reconnects you to your physical self, anchoring you when life becomes turbulent. Engage with your body's wisdom. It often knows what you need before your mind does. Grounding techniques are essential tools for maintaining balance during difficult times. These methods help you reconnect with the earth and your inner self, preventing feelings of disconnection. One effective way to ground yourself is to visualize roots extending from your feet deep into the earth. Imagine these roots anchoring you firmly, drawing strength and stability. Another technique is to use gentle stretching or movement to disperse excess energy and emotions, facilitating a sense of calm. Recognizing signs of imbalance early is crucial in navigating these shifts. Pay attention to your energy levels and emotional responses. If you feel unusually restless, irritable, or tired, it's a signal to pause and assess. Gently readjust your focus by engaging in a calming activity such as walking in nature, meditating, or practicing yoga. Allowing yourself these moments of pause can re-establish a sense of balance and clarity. Remember to treat yourself with kindness during these times, nurturing your spirit and honoring your needs. Chapter 14. Integration and Embodiment. Living your energy map. Recognizing integration markers in daily life. Recognizing integration markers means tuning into the subtle shifts in your body, emotions, and energy that reveal when your inner flow is smooth and balanced. These shifts often go unnoticed at first because they are quiet and gentle, like the soft rippling of a calm river. Pay attention to moments when your breath feels easy and even, your thoughts come without feeling forced, or your feelings settle into a steady calm. These are signs that the energy within your nadis, those energetic channels named Ida, Pingala, and Sushumna, is flowing freely without blockages. Often, when the knots or Granthis in your system loosen, such as the Brahma Granthi or the Rudra Granthi, you'll notice a sense of ease in how you move through your day and relate to your surroundings. As your awareness sharpens, you might observe enhanced clarity in your perceptions. This isn't just mental sharpness but a deeper presence that brightens your experience and grounds you in the moment. The 5 Vyas, subtle energies like apana and prana, begin to express themselves in ways that feel tangible. For example, apana's downward movement might bring a grounded feeling, an earthy steadiness within. Prana's upward sweep can make you feel alive and expansive but without restlessness. These markers are not always loud or dramatic but show up as a gentle balance between action and stillness, knowing and surrender. When you sense steadiness, a calm heart and relaxed nervous system, your energy map is being embodied in daily life rather than just understood intellectually. This presence of integration can be noticed when your posture naturally aligns without forcing it, and your breath flows smoothly like a gentle stream unblocked by tension or lingering discomfort. Emotional shifts happen as well, with impatience giving way to patience and stress softening into quiet acceptance. It might show in your relationships, where conversations feel lighter and more connected, reflecting the integrative flow within you. When this harmony is present, you aren't resisting your experience. Instead, you move with the subtle currents of your internal river, guided by the subtle pulses of the 5 Vyas and the unlocking of the 3 Granthis. These markers signal that what once was a knot now unties, and your energy can circulate more freely, supporting your full presence in the here and now. One practical way to keep in touch with integration markers is to check in with your body frequently throughout the day. Notice where your breath lands or if your spine feels engaged yet relaxed. Feel for subtle shifts in temperature, tingling, or lightness around your heart or head. These sensations can tell you when the Sushumna nadi is active and ready to carry energy upward without obstruction. As you identify these small changes, you begin to trust the wisdom of your own felt sense rather than relying only on mental descriptions or spiritual concepts. The markers become your internal compass, guiding you gently through the terrains of your energy body, from the root to the crown, as you navigate the river of your inner experience with curiosity and care. Practicing embodied awareness for long-term balance. Practicing embodied awareness means paying close attention to how your body feels in every moment. It involves gently tuning into subtle sensations, like the warmth of your skin, the stretch of your muscles, or the breath moving through your torso. This steady awareness helps you connect with your body as a living, breathing presence instead of just a collection of parts. When you focus on these sensations consistently, your sense of self becomes more rooted and clear. Over time, this mindful attention trains the nervous system to stay calmer and more centered, even amid life's ups and downs. Building long-term balance comes from weaving this awareness into everyday routines, so it becomes a natural part of life rather than a special practice. Let it be a simple act, feeling the ground beneath your feet as you walk, noticing your breath during work breaks, or sensing your posture throughout the day. As these moments accumulate, they deepen your feeling of being grounded and connected to your body. This ongoing process reinforces a sense of stability, making it easier to respond to stress without losing your center. Essentially, consistent embodied awareness creates a gentle but firm thread that supports your overall well-being over time. Think of your body as a river flowing through your life, with each moment of attention acting like a small paddle moving you toward equilibrium. When you notice where tension or imbalance builds, you can gently use your awareness to guide yourself back to a calm, centered state. This might look like softening a clenched jaw, relaxing stiff shoulders, or simply noticing the rhythm of your breathing. Small, regular acts of awareness add up. They help you recognize early signs of imbalance and respond with gentle adjustments, creating a supportive cycle of mindfulness and embodiment that grows stronger with practice. Over months or years, these practices shape a resilient, balanced foundation that stays with you even during challenging times. One way to deepen your embodied awareness is by using simple practices like scanning your body regularly. You might sit quietly and slowly move your attention from your toes up to your head, noting sensations without judgment. This creates a habit of noticing subtle shifts and helps to ground you whenever you feel disconnected or overwhelmed. As you develop this habit, it becomes easier to access a sense of inner steadiness, no matter what is happening around you. What starts as short moments of focused attention can evolve into a natural part of your daily rhythm, maintaining the balance you seek over the long term. Incorporating regular body scans or gentle awareness exercises helps build your felt sense, a deep, internal understanding of how you hold energy and tension. This awareness acts like a compass, guiding you toward areas that need gentle attention or release. Over time, it becomes easier to recognize when your energy is out of alignment, and you can respond by consciously relaxing or adjusting your posture. The key is consistency. By returning to this practice daily, you create a stable internal landscape. This steady connection strengthens your ability to stay grounded in all aspects of life, nurturing a resilience that sustains you beyond momentary efforts. Eventually, your embodied awareness can extend beyond specific practices to full living. Moving through your day with an active, gentle attention to your sensations keeps you connected and present. Whether walking, sitting, or doing chores, asking yourself, "How does my body feel right now?" helps maintain your balance. This ongoing dialogue with your body shifts awareness from a rare event to a continuous habit, fostering a sense of inner stability that withstands life's fluctuations. The more you nurture this subtle connection, the more naturally your energy finds its harmonious flow, supporting long-term well-being. One practical tip to support this process is to set gentle reminders throughout your day, perhaps a soft chime or a pause whenever you notice yourself distracted. When heard, take 1 or 2 mindful breaths and scan your body briefly. This keeps your awareness fresh and prevents you from slipping into autopilot. Over time, these small checks become part of your routine, subtly reinforcing your connection with your embodied self. With patience, this habit nurtures lasting balance, making it easier to return to calm states even during busy or stressful moments. Small, repeated acts of awareness gradually deepen your sense of safety and steadiness in body and mind. Using the energy body as a navigation tool. The energy body acts like an internal GPS system, allowing us to navigate our emotions, thoughts, and physical sensations. Each part of this body corresponds to specific areas of our lives, revealing insights that may not easily surface. By tuning into this energy map, we can identify how we feel, where we feel it, and what the underlying emotions might be. For instance, tightness in the chest can signal unresolved emotions, while a sensation of lightness in the head may indicate clarity and inspiration. These sensations help us read our internal environment, making it easier to discern what we truly need. Understanding our energy body involves being attentive to the signals it sends. As we encounter challenges or conflicts, the energy body communicates with us through sensations, urges, or feelings of discomfort. This language can be subtle, often emerging as whispers requiring us to pause and listen closely. Recognizing patterns in our energy can reveal long-held beliefs and behaviors that may no longer serve us. By acknowledging these cues, we can explore deeper layers of our being and foster greater self-awareness. Embodied awareness is about connecting with the sensations in our bodies and using them as navigational aids. Each chakra or energy center has its own unique qualities and associated feelings. For example, the root chakra, located at the base of the spine, offers a sense of grounding and stability, while the heart chakra connects us to love and compassion. Paying attention to these sensations helps us to not only understand our emotional responses better but also to find balance in our lives. Practical tools for integration can include breathwork, meditation, or mindful movement. These practices help bridge the gap between our inner experiences and outer realities. Engaging in simple practices, like placing your hand on your heart and taking deep breaths, can reconnect you to feelings of safety and calm. By integrating these practices into your daily routine, you create a foundation for a balanced and joyful existence. This journey allows you to chart your path using the energy body, cultivating a deeper relationship with yourself and the world around you. Developing a personal rituals for continual alignment. Creating personal rituals that nurture electrical grounding, conscious breath, and mindful movement helps maintain energetic balance throughout daily life. When you intentionally connect with your body's flow of energy, you support the natural currents moving through the nadis, the channels Ida, Pingala, and Sushumna, guiding your vitality. These subtle energy pathways correspond to the dual forces of lunar calmness and solar dynamism, with Sushumna carrying the central current upwards through your chakras. Integrating simple daily acts like feeling the earth beneath your feet, tuning into the breath as it flows in and out, or gently stretching the body engages the 5 vayas, apana, samana, prana, udana, and vyana, each governing how life energy circulates and expresses itself within you. These practices help loosen the three Granthis or energy knots associated with Brahma, Vishnu, and Rudra, which often block the free flow of your pranic current, causing disruptions in your physical, mental, and spiritual states. Incorporating simple yet intentional practices can sustain ongoing alignment with your unique energy map. Grounding exercises might include standing barefoot on grass or dirt, imagining roots extending from your feet deep into the earth, providing stability and nourishment. Breath awareness encourages you to notice how your inhalations and exhalations feel without trying to change them, allowing for a natural rhythm that centers the mind and soothes nervous tension. Reflecting on gratitude opens the heart and shifts the focus from scarcity to abundance, reinforcing the sense of balance within and without. By consistently returning your attention to these gentle actions, you cultivate a felt sense that resonates in your entire being, helping you recognize when a Granthi knot tightens or when a Vayu feels out of harmony. This ongoing, modest attention helps you heal blockages before they solidify, supporting a steady movement through the 7 chakra terrains from root to crown. One practical way to weave these rituals into your day is to anchor them around natural rhythms, like the rising or setting sun, or habitual moments, such as before a meal or at bedtime. This approach transforms your daily routine into a moving meditation, a continual check-in with your energetic field. You might begin by standing still for a moment, feeling the weight of your body settled evenly between both feet, allowing the energy from earth and sky to meet within you. As you breathe, watch how your belly rises and falls, the air cool as it enters and warm as it leaves, noticing any areas where breath feels stuck or shallow. Follow with gentle movements that feel nourishing rather than forced, such as swaying, twisting, or gentle spinal rolls, inviting energy to flow smoothly through the spine and limbs. Ending this moment with a simple gratitude reflection, whether for your body, your breath, or the space you occupy, plants a seed of positive vibration that extends beyond the ritual itself. This repeated, gentle attention to your energy blueprint nurtures a sense of continuity and wholeness, making alignment part of your living experience rather than a distant goal. Finally, remember that the process of continual alignment is not about perfection or rigid discipline. It's about creating space each day to listen inwardly and respond kindly, adjusting your practices as your needs evolve. When you notice tension, fatigue, or mental clutter, it's an invitation to return to these simple foundations: earth grounding, breath presence, and mindful movement, to smooth out your energetic currents. Over time, this ongoing care deepens your connection to the flow of energy within and around you, helping you move through each terrain of your journey with greater ease and awareness. Chapter 15. The Returning, Completing the Circuit with Grounded Awareness. Guided process for descending from higher chakras. Starting from the crown chakra, guiding awareness downward involves a gentle process of becoming conscious of each level as you move through the energy centers. Begin by sensing the crown, noticing any sensations, thoughts, or feelings without judgment. Imagine a flow of energy that naturally starts at the top of your head and gradually moves down, connecting you more deeply with your body and the earth beneath you. As you bring attention inward, consciously direct your awareness through each chakra, imagining a release or a gentle exhale as you let go of any tension or tightness that might be lingering there. This movement of awareness helps to ground your energy. Grounding is essential for balanced flow and for feeling rooted in your body. When working with this descent, it's helpful to visualize light or energy moving downwards, like a soothing river washing through each chakra, clearing any blockages along the way. As you do this, you'll notice that your focus shifts from mental ideas or spiritual ideals toward physical sensations and breath, making the process more tangible and real. It's a slow, deliberate journey, where each chakra becomes a stepping stone that guides you further down into your body and connection with the earth. In this process, it's useful to remember that each chakra holds specific qualities and emotions. Moving through them consciously allows you to both acknowledge what's present and gently release what no longer serves. For example, as you descend into the heart chakra, you might sense old emotional wounds or protective barriers that are ready to be softened. At the solar plexus, you might notice tightness or resistance from feelings of control or fear. Engaging with these sensations as part of the descent helps to break energy blockages, facilitating a more fluid, balanced energy circulation. The goal is to feel as if you're making a conscious bridge from spiritual awareness to physical presence, rooting your energy fully into your body and the world around you. The act of grounding can be supported by visualization, gentle touch, or even softly repeating affirmations that reinforce your intention to stay connected to the earth. As your awareness moves downward, take your time and be patient. Some areas might feel more resistant or tense. Acknowledge these sensations with curiosity rather than judgment. Remember, this is a process, not a race. With each step, you're training your mind and body to work together, creating a more integrated experience of your energy system. Over time, this practice can deepen your sense of stability and connection, making the descent not only easier but more meaningful. Once you've visualized and felt yourself grounding into the body, it's equally valuable to engage in simple breathing, such as slow, deep inhales and exhales, to reinforce the connection. Breathing calmly into the belly and pelvic area helps anchor your awareness further down, encouraging physical relaxation and emotional release. As you guide your energy downward, keep in mind that the process is deeply personal. Honor your pace and what your body needs at each moment. Remember that establishing a clear, steady intention to descend can serve as your anchor throughout the journey, making each layer of the chakra system feel more accessible and alive. Use your breath and imagination to deepen the descent, melting away tension as you feel yourself becoming more grounded. When practiced regularly, this guided descent becomes a natural part of your energy journey, helping you to connect more fully with the present moment and with your body's wisdom. The technique is simple but powerful, offering a clear pathway to decompress from mental clutter and reconnect with the physical, offering a sense of stability that stays with you off the mat or cushion. Practicing this descent regularly can also prepare you for more advanced work, such as energetic balancing or healing. The more familiar you become with consciously moving your awareness downward, the more natural it will feel to switch between spiritual focus and physical grounding during daily life. Keep your attention soft and unwavering, trusting that every step you take downwards is adding strength and clarity to your overall energy system. Remember that your body is always involved in this process, and it often communicates what's needed through subtle sensations or shifts. Simply listening and following those signals makes your journey smoother and more effective. As a practical tip, you might find it helpful to set a specific mental note or phrase as you move down, such as ground and relax, or bring awareness into my body, to reinforce your intention. This small cue can act as a reminder to stay present and focused, especially if your mind drifts or your awareness wanders. Over time, the process becomes more intuitive, feeling like a natural flow rather than a deliberate effort. By practicing consistently, you develop a deeper trust in your capacity to navigate your energy centers with confidence and ease. Overall, guiding awareness from the crown to the root is a step-by-step process grounded in patience, curiosity, and safety. Move slowly, honor what you feel, and trust that with time, this downward journey will become a familiar, reliable way to stabilize your energy, deepen your connection to your body, and stay rooted in the present moment. Integrating insights and clearing residual blocks. Grounded awareness is the foundation for recognizing and understanding the residual blocks that can form within your energy circuit. These blocks often manifest as feelings of tension, discomfort, or emotional heaviness. To begin practicing grounded awareness, start by finding a quiet space where you can sit comfortably. Close your eyes and take a few deep breaths, focusing on your connection to the earth. Notice how the ground supports you and feel your weight settle into your seat. As you breathe, invite your awareness to scan your body from head to toe, gently observing any areas that feel tight or blocked. This scanning process can help you identify where in your energy circuit you may be holding onto residual energies from past experiences. Listen to the sensations that arise without judgment. It's essential to acknowledge these feelings, as they can serve as clues to unresolved issues. Perhaps you notice a tightness in your chest that may relate to unexpressed emotions or a heaviness in your belly signaling anxiety or fear. By simply being aware of these sensations, you create space for healing. You might find it helpful to journal your findings. Writing can anchor your insights and make your experiences more tangible. This practice of grounding not only helps in identifying blocks but also cultivates a deeper connection to your body, promoting overall awareness. Once you've identified the areas where your energy feels stuck, it's time to apply integrative techniques to help clear these lingering tensions. One effective method is to use breath work. Begin by inhaling deeply through your nose, allowing your diaphragm to expand. As you exhale slowly through your mouth, imagine any built-up energy leaving your body. Visualization can also be powerful. Picture warm light flowing into the blocked areas, softening and dissolving tension. This light can be a color that resonates with you, perhaps soft green for healing or warm gold for comfort. Movement is another excellent way to release energy. Gentle stretching or yoga can open up constricted areas in your body. As you move, remain attentive to sensations and emotions that arise. Each stretch can signify a willingness to release the old and welcome in new energy. It may also be beneficial to engage with sound, whether through chanting, singing, or simply humming. Sound vibrations can penetrate deeply into your energetic field, facilitating a sense of harmony and balance. With consistent practice, you'll start to notice a shift in how energy flows through you, leading to a greater sense of inner peace and harmony. Engaging in these practices regularly can help you maintain a clear channel in your energy circuit. Over time, you may find it easier to identify blocks as they arise and address them before they become more significant hindrances. Being attuned to your body and energy allows for a more fluid experience of life, where you can respond better to emotional and physical sensations. Regularly checking in with yourself can create a powerful self-care routine, nurturing your spirit and fostering deeper connections within yourself and the world around you. Somatic closure techniques to seal the energy circuit. When you work with energy, it's essential to bring the flow back home, to gently seal the energetic circuit and ground yourself in the present moment. This process of somatic closure helps you feel integrated and safe after moving through intense sensations, emotions, or shifting states. Without this grounding, energy can feel scattered, leaving a restless edge or a sense of being halfway between worlds. Imagine closing a door softly behind you, rather than slamming it shut or letting it hang open. That's what somatic closure is, a way to gently complete the journey within your body and nervous system so that you can rest there fully. Our subtle energy anatomy includes the nadis, Ida, Pingala, and Sushumna, that run like rivers within, carrying prana, life force. The three Granthis, or energetic knots, Brahma at the base, Vishnu near the heart, and Rudra above the brow, act like blockages or gates along these paths. Clearing and then sealing these knots helps energy circulate without leaking or spiraling out of control. The five Vyas, or winds of energy, Apana, Samana, Prana, Udana, and Vyana, govern how energy moves in and out, up and down, around the body. Somatic closure techniques support the natural flow of these Vyas by anchoring energy in the body, balancing the currents so they return gently rather than scatter. By engaging with your body at the end of an energy practice or intense emotional work, you create a container that holds and respects what has surfaced. This isn't about forcing energy to freeze or ending abruptly. Instead, it's about listening closely to subtle shifts in your posture, breath, and sensation, and responding with small, deliberate movements or mindful breath. These practices help you return from the upper channels of your energetic system, where prana might have flown to the crown or out through the nostrils, back down the spine and deep into the root. This slow descent is a kind of homecoming, one that reconnects you with the earth and the physical body wrapped in stillness and ease. Starting this process often begins with a gentle moment of body awareness. You can sense where energy feels open or dense, light or heavy. Notice how your feet connect to the ground or the chair beneath you. Allow the breath to deepen without forcing it, inviting the lungs to expand and contract with softness. When you layer small movements over this awareness, a slight rolling of the shoulders, a gentle rocking in the hips, or a slow stretch of the arms, you invite the nervous system to shift from a state of high alert to relaxation. These micro-movements close the energetic loop by signaling the body that the moment of intensity has passed and it is safe to rest again. Breathing practices play a crucial role in closing the circuit, especially when directed with intent. Drawing the breath down through the torso to the belly encourages apana vayu, the downward moving energy responsible for elimination and release, to engage. Slowly exhaling through the mouth or nose reminds the body that the cycle of inhalation and exhalation completes here and now. The breath becomes a bridge, guiding energy back into the body and calling back any fragments that might have scattered to the edges or beyond. This is not about altering the breath dramatically, but tuning into its natural rhythm and letting it guide you toward groundedness. As you bring these elements together, body sensing, micro-movements, and conscious breath, you complete the energetic circuit by inviting the energy to flow fully through and settle. You might find yourself returning to small, simple movements like gently tapping the heart center or softly tracing your fingers along your arms and legs. These actions signal to your system that you trust feeling in the body and that you are present here, in the physical realm. When energy is naturally enclosed this way, it no longer needs to escape or fragment to find release. Instead, it supports a steady presence that carries forward into daily life. One practical way to support somatic closure is to spend a few moments after any energetic practice simply noticing the fullness inside your body and its boundaries. You can place your hands on your lower belly or on your knees to invite contact and settle the mind. Moving slowly, allow your gaze to soften toward a focal point or close the eyes entirely. These simple actions encourage the nervous system to shift from activation back into rest through the parasympathetic branch. Try combining gentle rocking or swaying with slow, full breaths. This movement need not be large, often just a sway of the hips or a circle in the wrists is enough to integrate the energy. These small movements tell the nervous system that you are safe, that the journey through energy has reached a place of balance. As the energy circuit closes, you might feel a sense of spaciousness emerge within, a calmness that feels whole and anchored. You've returned from the edges and folded your energy back inside, creating a sacred container for your whole self to rest in. Creating a personal practice for ongoing energy circuit maintenance. Maintaining a steady flow of energy through your body begins with establishing simple, consistent grounding practices. Taking a few moments each day to bring awareness to your breath helps anchor your energy in the present moment. Mindful breathing, such as paying close attention to each inhale and exhale, helps clear the mind and supports a stable energy circuit. Body awareness practices like scanning your body from head to toe, noticing areas of tension or ease, keep you connected to the signals your energy field is sending. Connecting to nature, whether through walking barefoot on earth or simply observing natural surroundings, can recharge the energy pathways and reinforce your sense of rootedness in the natural flow. These foundational steps serve as anchors, providing a sense of stability that helps your energy circulate smoothly and resist disruptions caused by daily stress. Building on these basic practices, advanced techniques offer deeper ways to stay connected to your energy and ensure its steady flow. Regular energy check-ins, perhaps once or twice a day, allow you to observe shifts, blockages, or excesses in your energy field before they become overwhelming. Setting intentional boundaries with yourself and others helps protect your energy from external drains and prevents unwanted influences from disrupting your circuit. Incorporating meditation as a daily routine deepens your awareness, making it easier to identify subtle changes in how your energy feels. These practices don't require complicated rituals but instead involve a conscious attention to how your body and mind respond to different experiences. Over time, this ongoing commitment to awareness creates a natural rhythm that keeps your energy flowing and helps you feel balanced even amid life's ups and downs. Consistency is key. You might start with just 5 minutes in the morning and 5 in the evening, gradually extending these sessions as you notice more stability in your energy. Use simple cues, like noticing how your breath shifts or where you feel tension, to remind yourself to pause and reconnect. Creating a comfortable space for these practices, whether that's a quiet corner or outdoors, can make engaging in them easier and more inviting. Keep in mind, energy is not something separate from you but a part of your natural being. Developing this practice turns daily routines into opportunities for energy maintenance, much like tending a garden regularly to keep it healthy and vibrant. Small, consistent efforts build a resilient energy circuit that supports your overall well-being and spiritual growth over the long term. If you've walked with me through these pages, you've already discovered that your energy body isn't a theory, it's an intimate, living landscape. You've met its rivers and knots, its peaks and valleys, its storms and clearings. And most importantly, you've learned that the map is not outside of you, it has always been within. The practices, frameworks, and rituals offered here are not meant to be the final word. They are doorways, reminders that your body is more than flesh, that your mind is more than thoughts, and that you are more than the stories you've been told. But perhaps the greatest discovery is not how to move upward into light, but how to return, downward, into the body, into the ground, into the simplicity of this moment. The rivers don't flow only to the heavens. They circle back, nourishing your roots, making you whole, making you here. As you step away from this book, remember, the field guide is just paper and ink. The true wisdom begins when you close it and pay attention to the rise and fall of your breath, the weight of your body on the earth, the subtle current beneath it all. The rivers are yours now. Walk with them, listen to them, let them teach you. And whenever you forget, return. The circuit is never broken, you only need to remember the way back.